not your everyday competition.
The pressure, and he got that! Oh my God! Oh God! Not like this!
Hello and welcome to Sonic Racing CrossWorlds on Twitch Rivals. Today is the grand finals of our global series, and oh my goodness, it is going to be a good one. Also brought to you by Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, which is available now. I'm Gabby Durden. I'll be steering us across the finish line of this 3-day event, and my friends, it is time to lock in. Imagine this. You are Sonic the Hedgehog, racing at blistering speeds in a fully customized Speedster Lightning racing machine, drifting and boosting through twists and turns in front of a cheering crowd at E Stadium. You're bumping and trash-talking your rival Shadow when in front of you, a travel ring appears, and suddenly, you're transported to Dinosaur Jungle. You backflip off a waterfall, dodging items and jockeying for the lead when an enormous T-Rex comes roaring through. That is just one of the countless thrilling racing events only possible in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, available now on consoles and PC. Come race on our level. As usual, we have two more than capable casters to keep you in the know on all things CrossWorlds. Chat, welcome back, EE and Emerald. EE, based on where we left things off with the EU qualifier last Friday, I gotta say, I think we're in for a treat today.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we're getting the 6 best from each group merging together to compete for that grand finals title. I don't know. Cruiser racers, like I have standouts in my mind from each group. So just to see them finally get a chance to duke it out. We've been waiting a full week for this. I'm glad that we just finally arrived to this moment. It's going to be a banger.
Yeah, speaking of standouts, Emerald, you had the pleasure of kicking off this 3-day event. I think it's fair to say that the NA qualifiers really set a strong tone.
Yeah, they really did. We saw some really great racers out there. I mean, especially like Games Cage. Games Cage was going crazy. But I'm really excited to see kind of how things develop now that we have both the NA and the EU going toe to toe. You know, they also have access to more gadgets and stuff like that. So we'll see some more builds out there, some more difference in play styles and stuff like that. So really excited.
Yeah, with the combination of our regions, we're definitely going to see some different matchups, some different builds, but some similarities in the format in which our drivers will be participating today. So taking a look at what you have to look forward to, we have 24 players among our NA and EU participants that will be participating in the cruisers and racers categories. So like we were just saying, finally clashing for the first time in our global series. And for everyone that is participating, they will be doing so across 16 courses. The cruisers are considered technically casual and racers elite, but I gotta say, if you watch the qualifiers, you know that there's not much distinction between the two. As far as what we have going on in the CrossWorlds rather, in our grand finals, all of those are available. We've got a couple of restrictions to point out, and then the players are going to be ranked based on the points that they earn across all of their races today. And similar to what we saw before, we've got a plethora of different courses that are available in which our drivers will be showing out in. And for those courses, you're gonna be racking up your opportunity to get the largest slice you can of the remaining $20,000 of our $60,000 prize pool. We already gave $20K to the NA qualifiers, EU qualifiers received $20K, and now for our grand finals, as usual, those placing in the bottom will still walk away with $750, and then our 2 champions that we crowned today will get $1,000. And I'm really excited to see what differences we end up witnessing from last week going into this week, the qualifiers being the first opportunity for many of our participants to get a taste of the competition available in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. And Emerald, I am curious, as someone who I'm sure has logged a lot of hours since the last time we saw you, any developments on your opinion when it comes to the course list?
Yeah, I've actually, you know, there's a lot of tracks that are really fun to race on, but there's a few kind of sprinkled in there that's like, okay, you would definitely have to put some time into this game to get a little bit more of an appreciation for. And for me recently, I would actually say that that's Blizzard Valley. Getting used to the ice physics that exist like on that track can feel a little bit intimidating at first, but once you get a handle on it, it's so rewarding to drive on. So I'm really excited to see that in today's races. I'm sure a lot of the racers have had more time to, get used to stuff like that.
Yeah, there's so many elements for our racers to keep in mind. Also, want to note when looking at the restrictions previously, that booster character kit is in reference to the one from the Hatsune Miku Festival rather. And taking a look at the cruisers that we have here, I do believe that there's going to be some interesting scenarios with both our regions clashing for the first time.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, if you got an opportunity to watch the qualifiers last week, they were phenomenal. A couple of these guys just kind of got in on the skin of their teeth, you know what I'm saying? Just nearly get it. That's why those point differentials are so important to accumulate early on. Axial Matt, that's somebody who I think could be maybe the greatest threat to this lobby. He did win the NA qualifier, but I'm going to tell you right now, Chloe and Dulacard are the two people I think people should keep an eye out for. Absolutely star-studded lineup for sure. So it's anybody's game.
Truly, truly. Emerald, who are you thinking when it comes to cruisers as well as the racers that we'll be witnessing later today?
Well, definitely in the cruisers, as stated before, Axial Matt, but Corgi Cam was also playing insanely well in that last qualifier, really keeping it neck and neck with Axial Matt. So I'm really excited to see how they perform today. And in the racers, I've been watching a lot of the streamers kind of prepare for this. I've seen a lot of hours put in by Fire Dragon, Dangers, and CPK as well. Like there's a ton. These people want it. They're hungering for that win. So I'm really excited to see like what they do today.
I don't think it's a surprise, that those who are familiar faces to the Twitch Rivals community are the ones that are grinding in preparation of today. Yeah,
I mean, you look at this lineup here, especially for the racers, there are multi-time Twitch Rivals champions and other titles among this group. This is the group that's going to show up and show out for sure. So can't wait to get to the racers later on in the show.
Yeah, and we also had the pleasure of getting a taste of just how deep that passion runs. Emerald, I know you're very familiar with Games Cage, and it was great getting to hear from him after that victory and showing his connection to Sonic.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a real love and a real passion for it. I would say, like, out of most of the racers, he's like the main Sonic guy, and he's definitely like kind of wearing Sonic on his back with that. His community is super passionate and supportive as well. And he's definitely got a target on his back, though, a little bit because of like how well he played. I think that a lot of racers, especially, are going to take that into account and maybe even kind of target him with some of the items. If you know that that's like one of the best racers on the track, you might have a big target. So
Facts.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think somebody else that's going to have a big target on their back when it comes to the cruisers category, Axial Matt, who was the winner of our North American qualifier, is going to hop on the broadcast right now so we can get a quick word from the qualifier champ. Axial Matt, hello.
Hello, how are you?
Hi. Wonderful.
Well?
How are you?
Yeah, I'm
yes,
good. I'm
yes,
good.
so
Just,
well.
Just a little nervous.
Yeah, I can imagine that you've got some nerves coming through, but it might be a surprise to those that watched you in the qualifier, because even though you're in the cruisers category, you showed some top level ability. Can you just tell me about your preparation when it comes to our Sonic Racing CrossWorlds event?
I've just been playing the game, really. I like to go for achievements and stuff, so I've been trying to get all those, and I think I'm only missing 2 at this point. So it's been a lot, but not like anything super intense,
Well, Matt, you mentioned you're only missing 2 achievements. I would disagree. I'd say you're missing 3 because you're trying to win this thing today. You're trying to take it down.
I am.
I'm just saying, Matt. What are the chances that we add a Twitch Rivals trophy to that shelf, my boy? How we feeling?
Oh, there's a trophy too? See, no one told me there was a trophy. Now I've got to try.
Maybe we can metaphorically. Thank you.
No. I mean, I'd like to. That'd be really awesome. Like I said, I just kind of been playing like, just kind of casually. I think that's probably why I'm in the cruisers. But yeah, no, I'm hoping that we can do at least okay.
Right on.
Dude, after I saw you racing in the first qualifiers, I think you'll do just fine. I think you don't want to sell yourself too short. Have a little bit of the confidence, man. You were the winner in that in that group.
See,
I feel like the extra hours that you put in. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, my philosophy always is like, if I go like way too high, you can fall further, right? So I try to keep it a little bit more chill, where I'm like, yeah, if I fall, it's okay, whatever. It's not a big fall.
He's humble, guys. That's awesome though. That's a great trait to have.
Yeah.
Keep the calm head.
Yeah. You can remain humble while us and everyone else in the audience that's supporting you brings that imaginary trophy to the forefront of their mind and passes it over to you.
Get those bragging rights, my brother.
Well, Axial Matt, thank you so much for joining us here on the show. Best of luck in your races today.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Great dude.
Yeah, real chilling. I like that.
Yeah. I always love getting to hear from people, not just before the competition, but after we just witnessed him wreck so many races emerald in his own qualifier. That was insane, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was insane. I think that, definitely you got to have a little bit, at least some of the self-confidence in there. Because I think that, well, who knows? Maybe he just plays better when he's not thinking like that, as he said, not too in his head or anything like that. Because I feel like, if you go in with too much confidence, it can be really easy to start tilting. Because you start to create this level of expectation for yourself where it's like, okay, well, I'm the best, and now I'm maybe not doing as well as I hoped. So
anything can happen today. Anything can happen. And I know, chat,
absolutely,
that you're looking forward to it for sure. So, chat, while you are waiting for our gameplay today, our friends at Honda want to give you the chance to play right here in chat with 4 super fun games. In the first game, you're going to work together to steer the Honda HRV, collecting as many points as possible while avoiding hazards. I also encourage you to check out the high score leaderboard to see how you stack up against chats from other Twitch Rivals events. Our second game is a Guess the Phrase challenge. You'll collectively guess each letter, attempting to complete the phrase before time runs out, avoiding strikes and cooldowns for incorrect guesses. Game number 3 is a classic memory game. Game 4 is a maze. And chat, remember, you must work together. So have fun and good luck. Welcome back to the Sonic Racing CrossWorlds Grand Finals on Twitch Rivals. Chat, our friends at Honda are here to empower you, which means Honda is bringing you closer to the broadcast than ever before with our Charged Up chat feature. The best creative commentary on socials and in chat will be featured right here on the broadcast. So go ahead and join the conversation in chat. Send to us your favorite memes and fire one-liners on socials. You can find us at Twitch Rivals or use the hashtag Charged Up chat. And if you do, you might see your comments right here on the show. Plus, Honda has made a brand new version of their exclusive follower emote that you can use by following /Twitch Rivals and typing TWR Honda to let it fly for the fam in chat. Now, Honda offers a full line of safe, fun, and connected vehicles. In fact, the Honda Civic Hybrid recently won its record-setting 4th North American Car of the Year award for the Civic nameplate and features an enhanced exterior design, a comfortable tech-rich interior, and a sporty, fun-to-drive spirit. Honda, the power of dreams. And I believe some dreams will become reality today when we crown 2 champions in our grand finals of our events. And I think it's a little difficult in some cases to predict exactly who that's going to be.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, there's a couple of variables to it, right? Like, as you know, Emerald said, a lot of people have obviously been grinding over this week leading up to this. So kind of more gadgets are going to be unlocked. So your strategy, your builds, things like that, it might not be similar to what we saw in the qualifiers, as well as knowing that if you're somebody who placed higher, even won a qualifier, people are going to have that in mind. So that, you know, that homing punch might be headed your direction instead of the next guy. So there's like a lot of things that I feel like are really going to kind of stir it up. But the mark of a champion, a great racer, is being able to overcome the odds. So just know whoever wins from each of their respective groups absolutely is going to deserve it. It's going to be great.
It's true, I'm sure, Emerald, that anyone from one region took the opportunity to watch those from the other region's qualifier if they're really looking to show out today. So this target that EE's talking about, Emerald, there's definitely some players going in with a larger one than others.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I feel like you're kind of actually in a good position if you maybe like qualified, but maybe weren't like in the top 3 or something, you know, you're in the bottom 3. Like you're probably, they're probably looking at you less. You can maybe fly under the radar and just kind of like scoot your way to first place. You never know. Yeah, I mean, I think anybody could take this. It's just a matter of like who adapts well to the target on their back. You know, there is ways to be able to play around that in this game. It is kind of difficult, but there are ways to avoid it. So I think also those people that are in the front could take some, some strategies that would put them in a better defensive position, and then they could still turn out doing really well.
And I'm definitely stoked to learn more about what those strategies are as we're watching the games and going through the competition today. But one thing I do want to note, because this is a follow-up to something from the interview that we had with Axial Matt, someone from Twitch clarified in chat that there will be a trophy, that Sega is providing one, and it's going to look super cool. So there will physically be something that our champions will be able to touch and enjoy.
Just manifest it into existence. That's what it's all about. You know what I mean? First we did it with the trophy. Now somebody's going to do it with the victory today to claim said trophy. So we'll see. I know our cruisers are going to be opening up the action. So let's jump right into it. There's a man of the hour, Axial Matt.
Yeah, he's in the front here. We're on our first track East Stadium. This is like kind of, you know, the opening track of the game, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know, really simple, but it's really fun to drive on. Actually, one of my favorite tracks because it's so simple. It's just all about that driving action and how well you can take these off-road shortcuts. Let's see if anybody, I see a couple racers right away going off to the side. And Matt, as we see, got that target on his back, got hit right away, kind of now in the lower placings.
Yep, they saw him in that interview. It's like, okay, we already know who we're going after. So
the guy on the camera, that's the one, man.
That's the one. We're going there. We got Rainho coming through as well. Rainho actually impressed me a lot as well in their qualifier round. So one of those names kind of keep an eye for. But this guy right here, Dalakar, I'm telling you, Emerald, if you didn't get a chance to see too much of the EU, this was the man of the hour. I think he took home like 4 or 5, maybe even 6 first place finishes. This guy can boogie with the best of them.
Okay. I'll be watching out for him. And speaking of that, we got Corgi Cam in the front, but he got hit by that King Boom Boo. If you guys don't know how that works, that item tackles the person that's in the front with a big like string of fire pillars and hits you down 50 rings. So it makes you lose rings and you get slowed down to a crawl. As you can see, Corgi Cam trying to get back into the fray of things, trying to get those rings back up.
Now, Corgi Cam was the one who was like a little underselling themselves, and then actually turned out to be pretty fire, if I'm not correct. So,
oh yeah, he was doing all sorts of work on the tracks, man. He was really showing out.
And it's had an entire week to kind of even bolster those skills even further. So very curious to see how that's going to pan out right now. Gets flattened though. That is the worst spot. You hate to see that.
Yeah, it gets pushed down onto the lower path, but it's not too bad. You know, the paths are kind of even for this track, so getting pushed down there isn't too big of a setback. As you can see, he's already back in first place. Or actually, we're on Dalucard now.
Dalucard right there rocking the Miku as well. Newly freed for this event. Shouts to production for making that happen and just boosting through on that little bit of a shortcut. And I like this position too. You're in first place with a tornado. Excellent defensive option for anyone sending any kind of ammunition against you.
Yeah, Chibi with two defensive items, honestly, here. The Fire Tornado is a little bit better for defending yourself overall, but if you're able to time a well-charged magnet backwards, you're able to block oncoming punches like that. Oh, and she wasn't ready for it.
Oh, no, I'm surprised. I mean, you just highlighted it perfectly, and that's what, you know, that's the roughest part about this game sometimes, is that everything can be going well, but that last lap can really take it out of you. And look who finishes in first place, Dalucard. Just adding another one. Continuing pretty much, Emerald, where he left off last week.
Yeah, man, you were saying. I mean, we're definitely going to have to be looking out for this, man. He's doing absolute work here. We're seeing Horty underscore in second, Axial Matt in third place, though. You know, Axial Matt not too far behind. He's still keeping it up. He's still got a good amount of points there.
And Emerald, what we saw from Chibidoki does remind me of what you're talking about during the qualifiers, how punishing it can be with certain builds to get hit by an item, especially in the last lap, as EE was just mentioning.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if you're on something like an extreme gear. That's the boards, the hoverboards that the people are on. If you're on that extreme gear, if you get hit by an item, it's really hard to get back into it unless you have a gadget that counteracts that, maybe like a quick recovery or something like that, or one of the drift gadgets to help build up that drift meter really quick. Just get a really quick boost off.
Yeah, one of my buddies was is playing the boost board, and I think he uses Crash Pad because he says like he just has to keep the rings as high at all times as possible. So I think that's like kind of one of the ones people might be leaning on as well. Again, I know everybody's builds are going to be different. Still, you know, really discovering that there's so many gadgets, right? You're still just discovering so much. It's very game's in its infancy for sure, but yeah, definitely like a little bit of a glass cannon with that boost board. You got to be careful for sure.
Yeah, EE, speaking of the gadgets and the versatility there, you know, you're talking about the coins. There's things that can raise your coin cap. There are things that can really lean into certain aspects of your build going into boosting as well as handling. What have you just thought as we get into our second course of that variety and what's available?
Well, I think it's fantastic because again, you know, you're kind of like, it's easy, like, for example, like to just kind of go for like the inventory plus, like, oh, I get 3 items, you know what I mean? That's, you know, totally great. But what I've noticed is sometimes the items, yes, they're amazing, but they're not necessarily like the focal point, because having a ring count that is, well, you know, as close to 100 at all times is so important, especially depending on what kind of archetype you're running too. So there's a lot of different ways you can kind of go about what you want to prioritize, and that's certainly one of them, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing you could do is just like prioritize like gadgets that give you rings. There's a bunch of them that are like bounties where like you can go over the dash panels here and it'll give you rings. Doing air tricks will give you rings. And with all the items that do end up hitting you in this game, it's nice to have that consistency of a way to build that back up quickly without having to drive into like a trail of the rings. We were on Rainbow Garden, but we're going to go into our first CrossWorld here in Apodos. And EE, I'm sure you've had experience on this track with just how crazy and hectic this section gets. This tunnel right here, as you can see, Demi hitting like 4 people with the fire tornado.
Yeah, anytime you're kind of in close quarters like that, you're always sweating a little bit because you know that the person to your left or your right has something that's definitely going to take out some rings or put you in a very negative position for sure. And it's just always amazing to me, like, it's how quick that we kind of go onto these courses, on these tracks, already on lap 2. Just jockeying for a position right now between Horty and Horty taking first place actually right now as one of the individuals who qualified just kind of a little bit of last minute in their qualifier for EU. So definitely has been putting in that work. Axial Matt though hot on her trail in second, I believe.
Yeah, she's got a good lead. She used that boost wisp very well. You can see that that is the best use of trying to use those boosts, is trying to use them in the off-road to get a little bit of a lead there. It doesn't, if you're like neck and neck with somebody, it can help just a tiny bit, but it really shines in those off-road sections, sometimes like near the end of tracks.
Ooh, the slime. I think you have the
having the
shield
shield
for
ready.
it. Nice. That's what you want in those top positions. Having a defensive item like shield is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and ooh, getting back bomb there, kind of tough. And Chibidoki actually passing with the fire tornado. So I think honestly, getting hit with the bomb was a little bit better than getting hit with that tornado there.
Oh no, not the weight. Oh, the weight into the crash out, but still in first place, maintaining tornado as well to help defend it.
Okay, and Chibi's playing really aggressive here to try to keep that position up top. We got Cruz going to the front though. Maybe he can get that first place. Oh,
I think
that was so close.
just got robbed out of it. That void item was not the one to be the difference maker there. I think there was. Oh no, gets first. What?
She gets it. Yeah, I was wondering. It was looking really close. It was hard to tell.
Yeah, because I thought Demi like just narrowly passed in the straightaway. That's one thing I do love about the game specifically is the ending stretch, because it builds the suspense where they don't tell you instantly. You know what I mean? You have to kind of sweat and hold your breath. And sometimes we're not sure about who took place, but the game always is. Wow, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do love Emerald, just the way each of these courses is set up, kind of following on what EE said, where it's built for that moment in the end. Use the last items you got, build up that boost, and I'm surprised by how many times we really don't know who got that #1 spot.
It's great.
Yeah, and with how hectic things get, you really got to be prepared. Like there's so many situations that could happen when you're taking that. Like there could be people coming up behind you with their shortcut. They got way more aggressive items than you thought. So you got to play really carefully and really smart. And it's always a heart stopper to see what's going to happen at the end there.
There it is.
And
Wow.
Cruzadar is definitely someone who proved that in the qualifier. Funny thing about Cruzadar though is so they provided some info and I really can't tell what's trolling and what's real. And I feel like maybe there's some, of Cruzadar's people in chat that can help us know. Like, limes are the best fruit to shuck on the beach with chat's mom. I don't know what that means. Chat, can you tell me? Anyway, we're getting into course number 3.
So looking forward to the answer, perhaps, to that puzzle and riddle after course number 3.
Where they go in the
right?
ocean? I don't know.
Seriously, dude, that's wild. Here we go, though. Once again, racers set to go.
Dude, I keep hitting
We're
this
on
guy.
Water
I feel
Palace
so
here.
bad.
Definitely a difficult track with that last turn in the water. We're going to see how
Yeah.
all these racers handle that. Definitely, I think we're going to see them do a little bit better of a job, though, especially compared to, the first qualifiers. We have a lot more hours across all the racers on the track. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, like the terrain, it's very kind of well thought out in this game, right? You really do kind of feel the difference with not being able to kind of maneuver how you traditionally would. So, being able to manage that in the first place, kind of we'll see how Dr. Feelgood
Oh, ma trace
handles it.
dégueulasse.
Okay, yeah,
Hey, not bad, not
yeah,
bad.
not bad at all.
It's
All right, and Miku is moving. You could tell too, Emerald, that people are very excited that Miku has been freed,
just do it.
as we are seeing quite a bit of her already.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And
yeah,
also,
yeah.
it's, the festival is going on this weekend for Miku, the Miku event. So people get a whole bunch of Miku unlocks, like decals and stuff for their machines. So I'm sure people are just super excited to like throw out. But also, like, she's one of the only Boost archetype characters in the game, and Boost is a very good archetype for those extreme gears that you see people on.
Yeah,
We're
because
gonna
it
see-
just adds to the speed. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It adds that like how fast that drift meter charges, so that they can get out those boosts.
Oh, cool. I got the worst item in the game again, man. That's
Oh,
so sick.
little Aggie getting caught on the little corner there, but actually, recovering really well.
Yeah, it
all
could have
things
been a lot
considered.
worse too. Now, one thing
He's still-
I haven't seen enough of yet, and maybe this is just me, but that I haven't seen people utilizing that back camera enough too, right? To kind of know what's coming up, who's right behind you. Just narrowly skirting away from that tornado. Has a boost in first, not a bad position at all. But here comes the king to wreak havoc.
Yeah, there was that King Boom Boo. Definitely, it's not always going to work out super badly for you if you're in first place, because in tight corridors like this, like that King Boom Boo probably hit like 4 racers behind the first place position.
Sure.
So So a lot of them are also getting knocked down along with you, unless they have something like Chibidoki has here with that ultimate level 4 drift charge, which allows her to be invincible if she charges it up, and she's using it really well here in this final section.
Yeah, Chibidoki, and let's see, we're gonna cut through here with the boost, just try and assure first place. We are rolling for it. The final boost right there, back cam, nobody behind. Alucard just kind of snuck up on us too there, Emerald. We weren't even talking about him, and then just out of nowhere surprises us and just gets first place.
Yeah,
it was
winning the race,
Chibidoki's to win, it seemed like, but no. Wow.
Yeah, he was just ready for it. I mean, Chibidoki did play that last section really, really well from what I saw, but, you know, Alucard just pulling it out.
And Emerald, it's interesting to see when talking about Miku being a boost character, and both of the people that just crossed the finish line in 1 and 2, Alucard and Chibidoki, they're both using Miku, but they had a different pairing with Miku when it comes to vehicle. So what are your just thoughts on kind of leaning towards that extreme gear or in the opposite direction like Alucard?
Well, what I will say is that, you know, we talked about it a little bit earlier. EE said that the extreme gear is a glass cannon type of machine, and it really is. It's like high risk, high reward type deal. But when we see something like the cart that Alucard is using, the cars have a little bit more consistency with getting hit by those items. They have a little bit of an easier time getting back into the fray of things. And so when you're trying to do a competition like that, sometimes consistency is just the best thing. That's the best recipe, you know?
Yeah, speaking of consistency, EE, you were pointing out Rainho and being impressed by them during the qualifier. I feel like Rain is a perfect example of someone who didn't necessarily come with a lot of podium finishes, but was just consistent enough to make sure they were secure in that qualification and hopefully finding some security today.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you just wanted to get to the main event, to the grand finale, which they have successfully done. And, you know, at the end of the day, you just want to continue to up that placing. So what? You can up that cash as well. You know, there's some money on the line. Definitely want to take advantage of that. Thus far, though, Alucard is holding strong with that first place lead. It's not locked in by any means. We still have plenty more races to go, but having a very good showing early on, kind of what I was expecting.
Yeah, and there's still plenty of a chance for things to flip around. Obviously, the people that may be in the back as far as the points go so far, we're only 3 races in. We have plenty of time to build up those points, or for maybe even those people that were placing in the higher positions to get only 1 point, like by placing in last place. You never know. Everything can change up in that last instant with all those chaotic items. So.
Yeah, that's one thing I love about this game is nothing is guaranteed. Obviously, you can do everything right, but, you know, if that monster truck comes through at the last moment, that's, you know, first to ninth. It can go down like that. We see Axial Matt tagged with that slicer, going to slow him down a little bit.
Yeah, slowing him down a bit and also making him lose his items there. Another quality of the slicer. Can really like having that on hand when people go through specific item sets can be really helpful to put somebody at a disadvantage. And specifically, people are going to be looking at Alucard and Axial Matt to try to put them at a disadvantage.
Now, for the slicer, I know it drops, and does it take 1 or 2? I cannot remember. Like, does it take 1 or
You'll drop
all?
both of them, I'm pretty sure. But sometimes you can like quickly. I think maybe it does only take 1. I've definitely had it to where I've dropped an item and kind of picked one up right away, but it looks like they both exit my inventory, so I'm not 100% sure on that.
Gotcha. Yeah, either way, we'll keep an eye on that. And Otia right now, second place, looking pretty good. Demi, now Demi was a very, very popular racer in our EU qualifier for sure. A lot of big personality and a lot of skill to complement that as well. In first place right now with that iron spike ball momentarily, but getting crushed by my favorite item personally. Love that monster truck.
The monster truck is so funny.
It's so dope.
There's even a gadget in the game where it takes 3 gadget slots to use, but you can start the race with a monster truck. And it's kind of just like, I would say, a really funny, like almost, it's like a joke gadget in a way, because it's really difficult to hold on to that for the entire race, but it can really get in the heads of the other racers
100%.
right at the start there.
Well, we are right at the end of this one. Alucard vying for first place potentially again right now. We're headed into... we are into this final lap, excuse me. Goodness.
Yeah, we just saw a bunch of them get hit by the fire tornado in the air. I wonder whose that was, but they slowed down all the racers, took a lot of the rings from them.
Oh, Rainho. This would be huge for Rainho in 11th right now. Could definitely use some second or first place points
Yeah, she's trying to catch up to Dollarcard, but nothing to really attack him with. Dollarcard kind of pulling away, hitting little Aggie with the spike ball, and taking another win.
And I like how you'll notice, use the back cam first to make sure not just mindlessly throwing it out there. Like, I want to hit somebody. I want to make sure that last minute boost they might be saving is going to be null and void against me. Perfect toss back. And another first place for Dollarcard. This guy's unstoppable right now, Gabby.
Stringing them together, absolutely. And that's not to say that there aren't some other strong contenders. I do want to give a shout out to Demi, who you're talking about was a popular driver prior and showing out. She describes herself as gamer god extraordinaire, the reactor of all. Is that a proper description for her, EE?
It's hard to disagree, especially since she wrote that description. You got it. Like, you got it.
You own it, Demi. It's yours, gamer god extraordinaire. But Emerald, will that be enough for a championship finish? I don't know, considering how Dollarcard has been racing.
Yeah, Dollarcard has been driving insanely well, but I think, if you have a good mindset about like how good you are at games, that's all you really need to come back from this kind of thing, right? It's all about having a good competitive mindset, not letting those little mistakes or those little losses kind of shake you. There's tons of races left. Anything can happen.
100%.
That is super important because in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, you can have those moments where that race may feel like it's lost, but you can come back in the next one. And EE, I'm excited to find out who's going to do that in Course 5.
All right. Yep. Course number 5 right now coming through back on Axial Mat. Again, took down the North American qualifier for the Cruisers last week. Trying to definitely raise his standing right now. Not doing too bad, though. I mean, 5th place and, this early on is still very, very good, very respectable. We've seen things can just flip on their head at any given moment. So, again, impossible to count anyone out just yet. Got that magnet item just chilling right there. You're lucky to use it gingerly. We'll see.
Yeah, honestly, if I'm Axial Mat here, I'm low-key looking to burn this. I kind of want to, just get rid of it. Oh, yeah, I think got rid of it at a poor timing. I didn't get another item from it, but having nothing to defend himself too. Yeah. Maybe shouldn't have burned it, actually.
That's a little rough for sure right there, but better to get kind of sent to the back on the early portions of things. But from the back to the front, we got Horty, somebody who's continued to make very good placements thus far right now. Second place, going to probably pop into first real quick. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I can just tell by the way that Horty's driving here with this extreme gear. She knows what's up. Like she's definitely somebody to watch out for in the 4th place position here. Could easily swing things in her favor and passing up Dollarcard. And Dollarcard's right here, right in front of her with a spike ball in hand. Kind of scary.
Yeah,
but drops it. Don't have to worry about it no more.
Yeah, if you're Horty, you're just kind of like, okay, let me just make sure keep my distance to a certain extent right here. Gets hit though. I think Dollarcard letting a tornado whip. Bomb getting unleashed, but the Dark Chow gonna come through and swap up. Hey, you know what? Not the worst thing. I mean, you do guarantee get some items off of that. It's gonna switch them out for you.
Yeah, when I say the Dark Chow, I'm actually kind of excited unless I was holding on to something specifically for a long time.
I'm just gonna use this.
Okay, Chibi opting to not take the shortcut in the second lap here. And you know what? That's fair. I mean, don't worry about it quite yet. The shortcuts kind of matter a lot more near the end, especially when you're up here in the front. You don't want to be like directly in the front, I feel like, unless you got a large lead. Otherwise, you're just really susceptible to these items that could come through here.
You always say like first and second, definitely a good place to be, but a dangerous place to be when you think about, King. You think about King Boo Boom. You think about the weights that can come through and take out, flatten you as well. There's a lot of variables to focus on right now, but we are on this 3rd lap, so time to focus on a victory. 40 trying to make up the distance right now.
Yeah, and she's got the Void Wisp here. This is a good item to stop projectiles. Kind of popping it a little bit early just to be...
Not all projectiles, apparently.
Yeah, the King Boom Boo, the only thing that really protects you there is invincibility. Or if you get a really well-timed Boost Wisp, it is a very difficult timing, but it is possible.
Very true. That is such a tight timing to get that, but it is true. And the shield, obviously. So there are some defensive ways around that, but, whatever they are, seems like Dollarcard has mastered them because once again, stop me if you've heard this one before, Emerald, first place for Dollarcard.
Yeah, he's playing out of his mind right now. He's really proven that he's the favorite here, but Axial Mat's still on his tail. Got a 2nd place there, Yeah,
and we are still early. That was just 5 races. We've got 16 in total for this category, but Emerald, you said that you're happy when you see Dark Chow. So does this make you happy? If I can get him to show up.
Oh, that's so
Wow.
cool.
This
Little
is
Dark Chow
actually,
figure.
and it came with these rings that I'm using as pinky rings because just fit perfectly. So you can thank Dark
She's
Chow
ripped
for
out.
it.
She's prepared.
I'm
What doesn't
prepared.
Gabby
I've
have?
surrounded myself. I've got all kinds of surprises. But I want to know which drivers have some surprises up their sleeve because I don't think it's too surprising to see Dalcard and Axial Matt rising towards the top early. But EE, is there anyone that you're surprised to not see there, or you maybe expect to surprise us in the second half ish?
Yeah, I have to. Well, Horty, I love the fact that Horty, because like I said, I believe Horty like barely kind of made it in last week for their qualifier. Horty's been playing great. Been seeing them, towards the front of the pack a lot, right? Really been enjoying that. Chloe's been kind of quiet, and that's somebody who I was very high on coming into this. So I know we're gonna have the standings in a moment. I'm kind of curious where Chloe is because looking a little MIA right now.
Yeah, let's find out because it's also difficult when you have somebody consistently getting those 15-pointer number one finishes because in the standings that tends to leave some pretty big gaps. And you can see with 4 of the 5 first place finishes, Dalcard is ahead, 21 points ahead of Axial Matt with 63 points total. And from there, that's where it gets a bit tighter, Emerald, but quite a gap there at the top.
Yeah, an insane gap. He's just proving just how dominant he is right now. But hey, things can switch up. A lot of the racers, they could just be a little nervous. They're warming up a little bit. They're trying to get the feel for what it's like to be in these matches. And yeah, I mean, the middle of the pack there, they're all really, really close. I feel like anybody could swing things in their favor, especially if they really kind of bat together to try to target Dalcard or Axial Matt, they just got to change up their strategies maybe a little bit or get a little bit more comfortable or maybe just get a track that they prefer to race on,
That's true. And EE, you wanted to check in on Chloe, tied in last with Ultia at 19 points.
Chloe, are you listening to me? I still believe in you. There are still plenty of more courses, girl. Do not be discouraged. I know it. And even start off a little slow inner qualifier and then just came out of nowhere and was just like killing it. So I believe in you. But when I look at these standings and I see that we have 5 races completed and 4 of the victories belong to one person, a little nervous. That's all I'm going to say. But, still plenty more to go. But good. Googa Mooga.
Yeah, it's very difficult in that situation because it's only been 5 races and we still have 11 to go. But as EE was just saying, for 4 of those to be won by one person, I don't know. Emerald, at what point are you thinking, okay, I still have a chance to take the grand championship? And then at one point, are you like, all right, I'm trying to get that second place?
I think that there's still a few more races before I'm really thinking of something like that. I wouldn't give up quite yet. There's definitely a chance that you could swing things in your favor, but you're definitely going to need to adjust your strategy to go after Dalcard for sure. I mean, this is a game where you can interact with other people and you got to stop the people at the top in order to get a win or to get more points.
Yeah, actually, Emerald, you were talking earlier in the show about the strategies you can maybe use to target those at the top. Perhaps we can hear a bit more about those strategies as we get into course number 6.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely, I think the real strategy involved with it is just if you have an item that can hit somebody, you hit that person, whether you see them on lap 1 or you see them on lap 3. It's always a good idea to put them, make them a bit uncomfortable, maybe make them need to get some more rings to get to that top speed. Because if you guys don't know, you need 100 rings to be at top speed at all times. And that can really be the difference maker in that final lap.
Yeah, 100%. Especially you'll see people opting to just get the rings over like even a booster and item sometimes. Like the rings in this game are essential and crucial. And you can definitely tell who knows that well. Here we are, Dalcard, the man with 4 of the 5 victories already. Looking to add another one early on here, first place, fighting it out.
I really like this gadget set that he's using too. the air trick expert and the air trick bounty with a drift kit. This is like a really consistent build to get a lot of boost on those corners, but also build up rings really quickly when you lose them. So definitely consistency is the name of the game there, and Dalakard showing that off really well.
No doubt about it. When you build a consistent machine, you want to see the fruits of your labor rewarded, and that has thus far been the case for him. But there's somebody else I was talking about, Horty. She's been fantastic thus far, and I see ahead of her Chloe in second place. Chloe, can we maintain though? Is my question, baby girl. Do not be afraid to get into the fray.
Yeah, we're seeing Chloe here getting hit by the slicer.
Who did that to Chloe? Boo! Boo!
Maybe somebody listening into the stream to make sure EE is unhappy and Chloe's unhappy.
It is chaotic everywhere you look. Good boost right there for that little bit of a shortcut.
Yeah, little Aggie. He's somebody that I was like kind of looking out for too. He's a speedrunner. He's a really great gamer. He's looking in the middle of the pack now, but I think he's definitely one of those people that I'm looking forward to potentially pulling into the lead here.
Definitely think Aggie is somebody who can certainly rise in those standings 100%. Again, when you have just this, you have this many races still remaining, it's no time to get discouraged at all. But loving what we're seeing here on in the this mall too, by the way. This should be the aesthetic for an actual IRL mall. This mall is gorgeous.
It's beautiful, yeah.
Quick, like, the way they designed it right here. Could we see a new winner here though? Third lap. Oh, spoke a little too soon, maybe.
People going through the shortcut here. Oh, Dalakard getting hit by the slicer. This is exactly what we're talking about, targeting people right at the end. And it's going to put him in probably a position that's closer to like 9th place with a new winner. Let's see who it was.
And I love that slicer throw too, because I feel like that was calculated. Dalakard all the way down. It might be triple or double digits, excuse me. Wow. It's either a 9th or a 10th place finish. Definitely some unfamiliar territory.
Yeah,
that's what happens when you're that good.
Dr. Feelgood taking it out for the first place there, looking a little bit stronger. And see, that's what I'm talking about. It can swing anybody's direction if you're playing the way you need to.
That point disparity between finishing first and 10th place, as Dalakard just did, is pretty huge when you're still only on race number 6.
Yeah.
But EE, our French-speaking, pigeon-loving Belgian queen, Chloe, where's she at?
She is about to be at her prime, okay? Just watch.
All right.
Okay? Everybody just calm down and watch, okay? You still have more than half the races to go. Chloe will be just fine, all right?
Yep.
No bias,
You've never seen her freak out?
No bias.
No bias, no bias.
No bias, no bias, no bias at all, you know. Emerald, is there anyone that you totally have no bias whatsoever in no way?
Definitely Lil Aggie, just because, I mean, he's a fellow speedrunner like myself, so I always got to root for the speedrunners when they're in these events.
Fair.
Whether or not they speedrun the game doesn't matter. They are tried and true gamers, for sure. They're really good at getting good at games, so...
And tried and true. I mean, we talked about Horty. Emerald, you made the note that as soon as you're watching her, that, oh yeah, she knows what she's doing. And she does believe she's one of the biggest fans of Sonic, even though it consumes her soul every day. So I think that she's somebody Sonic fans can get behind.
Yeah, I feel like, especially if you are a big fan of Sonic here, you got a little bit more pride because you're like, I'm the biggest Sonic fan, right? You're trying to be the best Sonic fan out there on the course.
Yeah,
and here we are at... oh, sorry, my bad.
No, I was just gonna say it's always interesting, like when you just have a competition among the fandom, right? Like, oh no, I'm the biggest. Like, okay, well, you know what? Luckily, we're playing a game that allows you to prove it. Okay, CrossWorlds, whoever takes it home, I think you get the title of biggest Sonic fan, at least for a couple of weeks.
Yeah. We're out here on Mystic Jungle. This is actually a really short track, but a really difficult one, especially in those water sections. Trying to avoid that snake can be really, really tough. But we're going into our cross world, which is Chow Park. Now, this is definitely a hectic track. Just look at how close all the racers are on this like straightaway here.
Of course.
And we got
Chow
this.
Park is always a surprising one because like it has the feel of just like it's just nice and calm, but it's actually quite chaotic, to your point, for sure. Especially in, you know, a lot of these close quarter sections, and kind of coming up over that boost like that, it can be a little bit hard to see ahead of you as well too. So you got to kind of know the track pretty well.
Yeah, paying attention to your surroundings in this game is really huge. On this track, it's a little bit more difficult. But Chibi Doki having expert usage of that ultimate charge there. It's one of the gadgets that if you're able to get a level 4 boost charge there, you're able to just avoid all items, including King Boom Boos, including spike balls, and she was able to drive right into one of them right there.
Ooh, trying to be a little too cute there. Axial Matt not going to be able to make little slips there. Unfortunate. I fall off of that all the time. I'm like, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Here's that snake you mentioned, drifting right around it. 40, good call.
What the fuck?
Oh, we got little Aggie here in the front, but Horty is looking to take. Oh, got hit by a spike ball right away.
And look, there's your guy, Emerald. First place, little Aggie picking it up.
There he is, man. I'm telling you, don't sleep on him. He could come up through the rankings here. This is a really good boost in points for him in the 5th place position. I don't know how this is exactly going to shake up the standings, but he's doing well right now.
No doubt.
It looked like, did Dalcard get 11th in that one too?
Oh, did he? Ooh.
Because if he did, then this is definitely the kind of finish that can shake up the standings EE when it's flipping that much.
Yeah, like, I mean, you said, I think you had like a 21-point lead, you said like 2 races ago. So at that point, it's just kind of like, okay, like, you don't necessarily have to win. You just gotta kind of maintain, you know what I mean? Middle of the pack, you know what I'm saying? 4th, 5th place. And those will help a lot, you know? It'll keep that lead safe. You're falling back down there when you're only collecting like 1 or 2 points. That you ain't gonna be safe, okay? You're gonna have some concerns and some questions right now. Right now, I'm questioning if maybe I might have crowned the potential #1 a little too soon here, because it looks like some other racers have something to say about how these standings might end up finishing off. And I like that too. Keep us guessing.
Yeah, with only 2 points for 11th and then 15 points for 1st. Like, that's such a big opportunity for some of these racers to close the gap. And Emerald, I mean, little Aggie showing out.
That's who I'm rooting for. You know, got to represent the speedrunners, man. I'm excited to see. He's probably just he had a little bit of nerves at the beginning. Right now, he's kind of calmed down. He's getting into it a little better. And who knows, maybe he just has a lot of practice on Mystic Jungle as well. That might have been his track to win, you know?
Yeah,
Very
difficult
true,
track indeed. And I'm sure we'll see some specialties for some of our racers in the tracks to come, EE.
Yeah, for sure. And I would say too, something else that maybe that a lot of our racers, our cruisers, excuse me, are kind of thinking of is like, okay, well, I haven't actually gotten a chance to play with at least, you know, this is 6 new competitors in the fray. I kind of got to get to know their styles, their builds, what they're good at, maybe what they're lacking at a little bit, and when's the best to kind of strike on my end on both offense and defense, right? So feeling out your opponents, obviously a very huge part of being able to have a lot of success too. And now that we are in course number 8, I'd say at this point you should probably know your opponents pretty well, and that'll kind of help you a little bit along with accumulating points and just boosting those placements.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like you have to take into account a lot of the things you're getting hit by, maybe a lot of the builds that the other people are using. It helps out to just have that information over the past few races, just to kind of know what to be prepared for. Be prepared for who you need to watch out for, who's hitting you the most. And little Aggie is definitely getting beat up here. Had to kind of burn that shield in order to not get completely run over by that monster truck. And sniping somebody actually with the magnet, throwing it forward. That was kind of nice.
Yeah, great reaction time from little Aggie. Like, that was like frame 1. Like, okay, let me just get this shield out here, because that truck is right on my heels. So well done. Rainho, somebody in, what, 9th place? Definitely could use some additional boost. Oh my goodness. Zarda, the worst timing to tune in with somebody just getting absolutely clapped. But here's our guy, Axial Matt. Gave us a great interview earlier, now trying to have a great performance, potentially going for that 1st place. Definitely in the fray right now.
Yeah, and he opted to go up into the air there, kind of avoiding what kind of chaotic items might be trying to hit him down in that lower water section. You got to take note that it also just could be a comfortability thing. Sometimes, like, people feel more comfortable when they transform flying as opposed to being on that water. So we're leaving our CrossWorld here to go into the final lap on a Podos, and this is where things get really scary, EE, because this is that hallway that this is so well known in this game for just getting crushed by a million items at once.
Yeah, if you can kind of survive this, you'll be in a pretty good position, though. The slime right there gonna definitely kind of almost reset a couple of those positions and placings as well. Aggie, though, trying to make a play. Dr. Feelgood, I feel like we've been saying his name a couple of times throughout these last couple of races. Definitely has certainly found his stride. Boost board on. Let's see what the roll's going to be on this item pool. Okay, not too bad. Got offense and defense.
Yeah, let's see how
Might be
well
rolled
this
this
works
time.
out for Dr. Feelgood there.
Time,
Throwing
but
the
I-
green glove as fast as he could there. It looks like he missed the hit, unfortunately, having to burn that fire tornado. And coming into this final stretch here, I can't tell who's in the front, but Axial Matt getting a second place, I think.
I think it was
Demi.
our girl Demi. Hey, there we go. Self-described God gamer does it. All right.
Yeah,
And
she's
definitely
proven it.
needed
I mean, getting that first place is huge here. That's going to be a lot of points for her. She's in 12th, but if she can pull out a few more of those, she definitely won't be there for very long.
Demi,
Ouch.
she believed.
She did. Great stuff, Demi. Awesome.
You also love when you hear the reaction too, because we were talking about how sometimes you don't know until the final second or it comes onto your screen who wins, and it's always great to get to hear from the driver that went across the finish line. I do want to talk a little bit about the gadget differences, though. Both of y'all have mentioned how important ring management is, and I loved seeing Dalakard, for instance, focusing on the gadgets that enable him to get more rings with the tricks, and then we saw Corgi Cam rather had the one that actually extends your cap to 130. So Emerald, it seems like there is a lot of emphasis on ring management, but in very different ways.
Yeah, absolutely. That 130 ring gadget, it doesn't increase your top speed. Your top speed still caps out at 100. But what it does is it gives you a little bit of a buffer. It gives you a little bit of a pad so that way, when you get hit with an item, you can easily still be close to that top speed range. Maybe you only need like 20 rings as opposed to getting 50. So having something like that either, increases that padding or just like gives you more rings in a quick span of time.
Yeah.
Really important to keep that top speed at all times.
Yeah, I have a build set up with I think it's the ring range up that kind of like, it lets me kind of get rings from like a further distance, right? So if I'm like trying to hit a boost pad, I need some rings at the same time, kind of helps me balance it out a little bit. So yeah, ring management, very key, as Emerald said.
Really cool to see. And when it comes to our standings, I'm sure those that are managing those first place finishes are our cruisers that really understand the importance of ring management. Axial Matt officially sliding into the first place holder currently in our standings with just one more point than Dalakard. We really saw the impact, EE, of Dalakard's low finishes in those past 3 races.
Yeah, I mean, and I hate to say it, I almost feel like we kind of gave the keys to success there, like target the higher placer race. It seems like we would see like a couple homing punches hit Dalakard untimely, the slicer as well. Like there was definitely some unfortunate things for Dalakard, but you know what? A couple of bad races, it's bound to happen. There's no reason to think Dalakard can't bounce back, but I'm loving the fact that Axial Matt had that cool, calm, doing my best demeanor in the interview, and look at that. Reaping some rewards right now. Slide into first, even by just a 1 point. Still first.
Yeah, a single race can make all the difference. Even Demi, I believe, had 4 last place finishes, but with that first place finish and 15 points, isn't actually sitting in the bottom of the standings right now and fairly close with some of the others in the middle of the pack. So we'll see how Demi and all of our other cruisers do in the rest of their races. For now, we are going to take a break. So Twitch chat, we'll see you on the other side. welcome back to the Sonic Racing CrossWorlds Grand Finals on Twitch Rivals. We are halfway through our Cruisers category, and we definitely had some flips in our standings in just the last 3 races.
Yeah, 100%. As you kind of would expect, you can obviously set a really good tempo and, tone for how the races could potentially go, but there's never any guarantees in a game as chaotic as Sonic CrossWorlds. So great to see that Axial Matt has actually kind of come up a little bit from, kind of like middle of the pack and then just picked it up and now is in first place, even by just a singular point. But to me, what's going to be really fun about this is how Dalukard is going to respond. We know how gifted Dalukard is, won the opening race here. Obviously the first, 5 of 6 or 4 of 5, very talented racer. Last 3 have not gone their way, but bounce back. That is the key. And I'm looking to see if he can do it.
And there's still so many more courses to get through. And when talking about Axial Matt and the fact that he was able to pull more forward and therefore in the #1 position right now in the standings, I feel like Emerald, when we've witnessed his kind of play style, he does go for a lot of those difficult cuts on some of these courses, which in some cases, you fall, that can really set you back. But do you feel that that is maybe why there was a little variability earlier on before he got his groove?
Yeah, I could definitely see that being the case. You go into a tournament like this, you got a little bit of nerves, especially with how well Axial Matt did in the previous qualifier. You kind of have that lingering in the back of your head. So you just kind of have to remind yourself that, this is, you've been practicing, you played well before, you can play well again. And honestly, you just got to get a few races in and then you get a little bit more comfortable.
I do feel like when it comes to this game, obviously anything, the more you're playing, the more comfortable you're going to get. But because of how quick these races are and so back to back, it does feel like stringing them together, you can really get into your groove. And some might do so more than others in course number 9.
Yeah, for 100%. I mean, and the good thing about this is, too, you've had 8 courses before this one, and then you get a little bit of that 3-minute breather, that break we went on. So you know what? Deep breath, come back. Even if you're at the bottom of the standings, you can still make a huge turnaround. But for somebody like Matt, he's looking to stay at the top of the pack.
I want to hear about it.
Yeah, and we're here at Wonder Museum. This is probably one of my favorite tracks in the game. I just love the music. I love how it drives. I love that the dinosaurs come to life on lap 3.
Yep,
it's very alive. It's very fun.
Yeah, this is a great stage map for
guy
sure.
In front of me was the one that got hit by my trap, but he was unaffected by it.
I like how Matt, and I love this. This is like, I call it, it's like self-soothing. You're just talking out loud, very calm to your chat, letting them know, you know what, yeah, I got hit by that, but it's okay. I'm gonna be okay. And in Corgi Cam, I feel like understated rager.
Just me and Matt hanging out back.
Yeah, Corgi Cam, honestly, I'm excited to see if Corgi Cam can pull back to the front, get some points because they did such a good job in that qualifying race.
Seriously,
but we have our dominant first place player Dalukard, who's trying to look back to get back to some of those first place positions after a few not so great races. And we're getting into one of the most hectic CrossWorlds here. I feel like this one is one of the most difficult ones to drive on. This being, I believe, White Cave.
Auf der Map willst du nicht gepinkt
Yeah, because
werden.
it's already so hard to navigate, and then there's just instances where if you just get hit, you just feel like you just get set back so much, right? Especially in first place right now. It feels a little bit in the danger zone, but for Dalukard, able to not take anything too hard, but we're not out of the woods just yet. Axial Matt, boost in hand, first place momentarily. Love it when we get to these spots where everybody's just vying for position. Boom.
Yeah, Axial Matt aiming to be aggressive there, just like, nah, that's my first place, man. I'm taking that back.
100%, bro. And that's, that's one of those attack items, right? You got that rocket punches, let that thing fly. You need to hold on to it. Final lap here. Dalukard and Axial Matt, first in place in standings, first and second in standings, first and second right here on our third lap. And to your point, Emerald, changes it up a little bit when those dinosaurs come to life.
Oh, come on.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Got to avoid the obstacles, but Axial Matt not having anything to avoid that King Boom Boo, it's going to set him back a little bit. Kind of sweating here, trying to make sure he can get some items to get back to the front. Dalukard getting hit by that boat there. That boat moves a lot faster on lap 3. Getting pushed into the car as well.
Ooh, good boost timing right there. I think that was going to be Slime, if I'm not mistaken. So
Scared to use this.
Chibi getting a little bit of a break. And the shield in first place. That's what you love to see. Well timed. That slicer coming out, having 0 impact. But can we put this together and get a W?
Yeah, having to avoid that fire tornado there. She's not quite in first place, but she could still pull it out.
Snaking it, snaking it.
Le même véhicule.
So close. 3 Mikus in top 3.
Je méritais top 1, mais
We'll
mon
have to see who won here with the scoreboard, but
Ma perf était
Let's
dégueulasse.
see.
Ah si, je fais premier. Non mais le jeu est trop buggé.
Dr.
Dr.
Feelgood.
Feelgood. Okay.
Mon
And
écran, je fais
Debbie getting a
clairement
second
troisième,
place
genre de très loin.
finishing. And Chibi
Et là,
Doki
j'ai une
not
10
far behind.
Okay.
Things are switching up a little bit. More points for more people.
Those are going to be 3 happy Mikus for sure. Okay, occupying those top 3 spots. No doubt about that. Well done. It was great.
Demi surprised me. I really thought that she'd end up getting second, but Demi just sneak it in there. Got a lot of Miku lovers for sure. I mean, Chibi Doki was very much someone that was vocal in the interview about being excited to end up using Miku, and no surprise to see so many of them.
Yeah, 100%. And obviously, you know, one of the things that I really appreciate the fact is too, they're good. Like, they're good. You know what I'm saying? They are representing Miku well. Because Miku, fan base strong, okay? You got to come correct. You're going to pick that girl. And we are definitely seeing that. Demi, though, definitely, I don't even know if we focused on Demi one time during that particular course, Emerald, and just pops up in second place. Sneaky, sneaky. That's how you got to be sometimes.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, that is a really good strategy, I feel, in this game, is to not be too close to the front until the very last second. It gives you an opportunity to get some good items and kind of pull a fast one on some of those racers that are near the front.
And Demi wasn't just kind of pulling that off within the races themselves, but I mean, when you look at the overall performance in the standings, I believe Demi was finishing towards the bottom in the earlier ones, no one having that target on them just yet, but pulling a first and second in recent courses, that's definitely going to be making a difference.
Oh, 100%. That's what you want to see for sure. I feel like at this point, if you're not warmed up, it just might not be your day, because points here are just so precious going into course number 10. You've got to make every last bit count, especially now as we're more than halfway through our courses and getting to that point where we can crown our grand finals champion here in the cruiser division.
Hitting someone in the front is a bonus when you're just starting the race, because that means you're going to get good items and win at the end. That is this game.
Yeah, I mean, that is a really good strategy that Chibi Doki is kind of highlighting right there. Yeah. She knows what's up, and honestly, we're seeing it pay off. She's proving that she is a great competitor. She knows what she has to do in order to win in these races.
I don't want to be first. Oh my
Yeah, even Rainho saying, I don't want to be first right now. I'll just kind of chill, let everybody pass me, get some extra rings from Omochao.
Yeah, DFG.
A little fact about Omochao you guys might not know is if you're collecting the rings from Omochao, you can actually drive off road with Omochao. It can be helpful to get through some shortcuts like that.
I actually did not know that at all. That's fantastic to know. I actually appreciate that knowledge drop.
Yeah, no problem.
Faut juste spam les...
Little things like that you learn from playing 80 plus hours of the game, man. I've been playing this game too much.
That'll do it for you. I want to see you in the on the racetrack next time, Emerald. Let's see what you got, my boy.
Bah moi j'aime trop
I'd love to be out here. But we got Horty right now in first place, doing a lot of tricks here, getting those boosts after every single jump with the air trick expert, getting a little bit extra out of it. She's got a lot of rings, and we're in the boost wisp frenzy. If you guys are not completely aware about how frenzies work, when you see that little green icon in the second laps, it can change up the course in a way that benefits the racers. That one being that everybody got a boost wisp there. Sometimes you'll see the dash rings, etc. But we're coming up here on this final stretch here in Crystal Mine. There's a really difficult shortcut that I want to see if some of the racers go for here. It's kind of an all or nothing shortcut, though, that yellow truck off onto the right side there. There's a little ramp. If you have a boost wisp, you can ride up and take a really strong lead. But if you miss it, that's wraps. That's the race, man. You're not coming back from that.
Yeah, if you're in first place too, it is definitely. Oh, okay. Let me hold this bomb a little bit. The more you hold that bomb, the more devastating impact it's gonna have. Just send it all the way back. Demi and Rainho. Oh my goodness, both catching a piece of that. What a dodge from Dr. Feelgood.
Yeah, it's getting real hectic out here.
Wow.
But Axial Matt hitting Chibi Doki on his way out. Taking that first place position. Let's just see what happened to Chibi Doki's race here when the standings come up. I'm kind of curious how far back she ended up.
Yeah, she was kind of right there at the finish line, but so were a whole lot of other people. And okay, fourth. I mean, not as bad as it could have been. Let's be fair. Not as bad as it could have been.
Yeah, absolutely. But hey, even just that one hit there right at the finish line is a big difference maker points wise. So we'll see how that affects the standings a little bit there. But if I'm Chibidoki, I'm a little upset. I'm a little upset.
Just a tad bit. You get robbed out at some points, you're always going to be a little upset, but that's the name of the game. Sometimes you get robbed, sometimes they rob you. Yeah, just that last slap, that last straightaway, pure chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a little rough. Again, that last lap, you'll be in first place, but it doesn't guarantee it by any means. So many things can change, especially like when you are in first. Just that worst feeling when you know you're coming around, the final straightaway is right there, and then King Boom Boo shows up, and you're just like, oh, I don't have a shield, I don't have a boost, I don't have anything that's going to help me in this situation. I'm just going to get clobbered. I mean, the best you can hope for is like mitigating the damage and hoping that somebody else close to you maybe gets tagged as well. It's rough.
It's maybe some of the reason why, Emerald, we're seeing more of our cruisers vocalize the fact that they don't want to be in that number one spot and are maybe playing a little timidly at times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. There's like a specific way that you can play in order to keep that first place position and still like kind of have like a defensive tools, but it's really, really difficult, especially when you got everybody behind you kind of gunning for that first place position as well with their offensive items.
Ah oui, d'accord.
All right, course. Another course to go right here. Altia. We've had a quiet showing thus far. Maybe an opportunity right now to get a few more points and at least, go from those double-digit standings to sneak up in that ninth. And then you never know. From ninth, maybe you get, I don't know, maybe you get to seventh, maybe you get to fifth. You never know. But you're going to have a good streak of races for sure. Actually,
absolutely.
I'm kind of looking over there at the points too. I don't know if you noticed, our boy Dalacard has slid all the way down to fourth. He's sitting there at 80. Yes, Axial Matt is kind of not running away with it, but built a solid double-digit placing right there, 96 with Little Aggie at 86. Dr. Feelgood right behind there. So definitely a shakeup in those standings, which we were hoping to see. I'm not disappointed right now.
Yeah, things are looking closer near the top now. Dalacard does not have the same lead that he once did. But still not out of it. We're going to see here if we're going to get a frenzy, and we are in this CrossWorld. Let's see what this one is.
I mean, we were, but
I believe it is the boost ring frenzy. So as you're going to see, there's going to be a lot more of these pink rings all over. All the racers are going to want to try to go through those as much as they possibly can to get that extra speed boost through these sections.
That's probably my favorite frenzy to get is the boost rings, because I feel like with the boost wispy sometimes, I don't know why, it just feels like I end up just getting mixed up with like an item that I acquire and then the wisp is still there. I'm just like, I don't know which one I'm hitting and where to go. And there's a lot of things going here. Here I know I just need to stay on the course and I'll be fine. Okay, I'll be fine. I'll just hit those rings and I'll be chilling.
Yeah, you just gotta drive the best you can.
Exactly.
Dr. Feelgood getting hit there by that glove. That is a really vicious item. I mean, and getting slimed here, losing the other item that he had. It takes away a lot of rings from you and slows you down pretty quickly.
The slime is one of those ones where you really want to have a boost in tow, because you can outrun it, right? Like there'll be the indication with that circle that you can just kind of hit that boost and you don't have to get slime. But if you don't have anything defensive right there, yeah, it is definitely a rough time and not so fun. Lap number 3 right here though, 40. Fire Nado in hand, willing to unleash perhaps. We get to the stretch. Oh no, Dr. Phil! Oh my goodness. That's just pain.
That's what we're seeing, going for some of those shortcuts. Sometimes, it's a risk reward. I mean, if you manage to pull it off, you can get it a little bit closer to first. But if you fall there, it's detrimental for your race. Axial Matt here not having any options to take that off-road cut and getting hit by the slicer. That's going to be really tough for finishing points here. Dalacard also looking kind of far in the back.
We got one! We got our one! Now, boys, we're going back to bottom of the board. We got our one, and now we can.
Let's see, how'd that go? Dalacard got 8th because that's guys, like pretty close to the finish. Dalacard was definitely vying for first and second, but there was definitely some item shenanigans that blew him all the way to the back. Again, they just want to keep Dalacard in check. Like he's already down at 4th, push him down there to 5th. You know what I'm saying? Keep him down there. That's the strategy right there. But Axial Matt, he has been the guy that's quietly creeped up to first place. So you know what? I think that target might be throwing a little bit on his back too. saying.
I'm not sure where Lil Aggie finished in that race, but before that, it was Axial Matt and Lil Aggie in the number 1 and 2 position. And we kind of had that rising cluster of Dr. Feelgood, Demi, Chibi, and more. I gotta say, Emerald, I love Chibi Doki's energy. And after getting a first place finish, I imagine that energy is going to carry over to the next race.
Yeah, I gotta say it's infectious. I just heard her popping off, and I was like, yeah, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Like I was feeling it too, you know. And she got her one, as she said. It sounded like really wanted at least one first place finish, and she got it there. And that might be the confidence boost that she needs to start pulling into the lead here. I mean, she's racing really well. I could definitely see a shift happening, especially with, as you pointed out, I think Dalucard and Lil Aggie kind of placing a little bit lower, as well as Axial Matt. So. Anybody's tournament, really.
Yeah, the best part of Chibi winning there too is because we opened that course on Chibi and giving us a dissertation of how this game works, right? And you know what? Don't just talk about how it works, show us. And took first place right there. That was brilliant play. Great timing from our observers to keep locked in on Chibi.
Pain and suffering. I love Cruises using the spin thing. We're just gonna play how I normally do.
Yeah, pointing out the spin drift gadget is actually really funny. I feel like that is the pure chaos gadget. You're just there to mess with everybody else, because what it does is anytime you go into a drift, your cart just starts to spin around, and it just kind of like knocks up the fellow racers up into the air.
Oh Lord!
So that's like one of those gadgets where you're definitely just having a good time with it.
Yes, 1000%.
Okay, I meant like, oh la la, mamacita, you know.
Getting back bomb there is Chibidoki, but you know it's totally fine here in this first lap. I think most people, the more you play this game, the more you realize that first lap is like, you know, you're a little bit stressed about stuff, but you don't have to worry too much if you end up in the back. There's always a chance to catch back up with items, or you know, take that time to collect some free rings without anybody bothering you.
100%. There's just a myriad of great items that you can just kind of stack up to just make up the difference. You got Monster Truck, you got obviously the drill, all the different boosts available as well, and things, of course, too, that just completely impact those at the front of the pack. So, you know, being towards the back on that first lap, even the second lap, not the worst thing in the world. It's that third one that you really got to make sure you make count. So don't ever miss an item box. Let me tell you, I've had some experiences where I just missed one. I'm just like, dang, that really could have been the difference. Oh no! And then missing, I think, an additional bounce on the balloon to get over that little bit of a gap. Gonna set Rainho back quite a bit.
Yeah, that's a difficult section to drive on for sure, but she's not out of it yet. She's still got a chance. We're gonna come up to an item set right here. There's a couple of double items right there. Anything could switch this up right now. Let's see what Rainho gets. A laser. Laser is one of my favorite speed items. It allows you, wherever there's those crystals, if you see a bunch of them, use it, because it'll put you near the front of all of them. If you don't see any, don't use it, because it's probably only going to put you like 2 feet in front of you.
Yeah, that's something I had to kind of learn. I was like, why isn't this thing consistent? You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, like there's actually like a reason for that. So yes, those crystals, keep it in mind. Boost right there. Oh, the slicer coming through. Very inopportune time and unfortunate. We do have the homing attack.
Oh, Rainho lasering into first place, and somebody with the monster truck.
Oh, man. Little Aggie took a beating down there. Completely stomped out from getting potentially first.
Yeah, and Rainho taking the first place there. Okay.
Wow.
I don't. She had that laser that kind of brought her to the front of the pack there. That was like the best, absolute best position to use that in. That was really good item usage there by Rainho.
100%, and good discipline too, like just not using it until the very optimal point in that race to secure first place. Brilliantly done.
I was thinking of Bear, who was casting the qualifiers that we had whenever I got the laser, because he was talking about on the Twitch Rivals broadcast how I love any of the items that give me a break for any second within the race. And so every time I got it, I'm like, yeah, Bear's right. It's nice when you can take a little break, especially EE when you get to do it in the end for a #1 finish like Rainho did.
There it is. It's just those moments right there. You just hope your community is clipping perfectly, because you know that's going to be a highlight later on.
Yeah, it just shows that there's still so much in the air in terms of how anyone is going to finish in our cruisers category, because Corgi Cam, I can't remember exactly how many points they had going into that race, but seemed to be kind of in that center cluster where it might be difficult to get a podium finish, but you can come out in the middle. And I do want to shout out to the Twitch Rivals community, because Corgi Cam, this is their third Twitch Rivals, and they made a mention that the Rivals community had dubbed them and their squad Team Zootopia. So they're racing and representing the rest of Team Zootopia today with Corgi's fellow VTubers. So shout out to Corgi and all that Corgi is here to represent. And I'm sure everyone else has got big old communities that they are vying for. And Emerald, let's get to it with course 13.
Yeah, we're here in Coral Town. Coral Town is, you know, a track that has a bunch of different pathways. There's actually a really crazy shortcut that exists on this track. I'm really curious to see if anybody goes for that, but it's a very risky one. But yeah, anything could happen here. This is a fun track to see what happens here in course 13.
Now, Emerald, in your opinion, like when you kind of mentioned the shortcuts and how they can be like super risky, would you say like it's more worth it to save it for like trying to, you know, rally in, you know, terms of like being on that third lap? Or do you think it's okay to just kind of let it rip and just give yourself a pretty big lead? Like even on the second lap, like what do you think is best suited for?
I think it depends. It definitely is situational, right? I think like doing it in the first lap, it's kind of like it doesn't matter as much. So like, let's say you have a boost wisp that you want to hang on to or something that would allow you to take a big cut. That's like maybe not super risky, but like, you know, that's just resources that you're burning. Yeah. I think that if you're kind of like in the back on the last, like on the first lap, then it's like, oh, I'll save this for now. Maybe try to catch up a little bit before I burn this item, just because you never know when you're spinning the wheel here on these capsules, what you might end up with. So you might not get that same item again.
Okay, right on. Makes sense to me. Ooh, okay, getting hit right there. Dalucard. You just know that Dalucard is just itching to just get a first place. Even at this point, considering some of the placings, just a top 3 or 4th finish would probably be satisfactory to Dalucard as he gets hit with that slime right there, loses an item, losing control momentarily. Got to get it back together as we hit lap number 3. First place, Chibi Doki, Chaos Incarnate right now. Always entertaining the people, but maybe not the entertainment they want right there. King Boom Boo gonna stifle that first place run.
I actually noticed that Chibi was before using the level 4 ultimate charge, but she opted to switch off of it. I wonder if, you know, maybe that's just a comfortability type thing. She was having trouble getting off those level 4 charges. So I wonder if she switched that up before she had these wins, or if she's doing it just because like, oh yeah, maybe this isn't as useful. Let me change up the strategy to get something else, a little bit more mileage out of it.
That was such a good cut right there for Axiomat. He's so fortunate he had the boost wisp right there to take that. Actually barely skunking out, I think, Dr. Feelgood. And had the bomb charging as well, too. So they send that back a little bit as well. Going to make it difficult for a lot of folks behind you to avoid that. Great placing from Matt. That was great finish.
Clean, Matt, clean. I am glad that, Emerald, you mentioned the gadget change, though, from Chibi Doki, because I was thinking that as well, since it's not just about the charge that you get when you add that 4th charge, but the invulnerability as well. And we did see it play a role. What's your experience with kind of leaning into that strategy versus not?
I really like it. I actually have started using a gadget set recently when I'm racing myself. With the ultimate charge, and I use like tech drift as well, which kind of makes it feel like you're drifting on ice, but it boosts that drift meter a little bit faster. I really like it because it makes it so that you always have access to a defensive option when you're in those higher placings. If you're able to charge up that level 4 drift, you might not have a shield, but you have that drift, so then it allows you to block things like whatever projectiles or even King Boom Boo. So it's really good for kind of front running when you're not able to rely on those items as strongly.
I do wonder, as both our cruisers and racers get more and more familiar with Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, if it will also impact which gadgets they're thinking of on certain courses, because I feel like certain courses are definitely going to be more favorable to drifting versus others. And I'm curious to see what happens here in course 14.
Yeah, I mean, being able to be versatile is a huge thing. So being able to like kind of have different situational gadget builds, obviously for different stages, can be tremendous. You know what what I mean? Like one of the things I feel like is going to like really help with a lot of those deciding factors is just continuing to play the game more, understanding, okay, I'm more comfortable on this track versus that track. It's all common sense things, but it's still like it takes a while to really know and navigate, because we do have a lot of courses in here as well as like the CrossWorlds. So it all kind of goes into getting that selection. Now, right now, we are looking at one of my picks to do super well, Chloe. Now, let's just say Chloe goes the next 3 races and gets first. Still not going to win. But I'll tell you what, it'll validate what I was talking about.
I'm sure she's able to get like a higher placing if she just plays her heart out, you know?
There you go. You got 3 races to do it right now. This is where it's really going to count. And Dalakard not even taking any chances, letting that fire tornado rip and then accumulating some coins right there, stacking it up. I love how it actually puts it like just in a straight path. The Oma Chow, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it makes it so that you can just really easily collect those rings. We got our Frenzy here in Dragon Road. This one is the Drift Frenzy. The meter is going to charge insanely fast no matter what gadgets you have. Although those gadgets that do charge the boost meter or the drift meter charge it still faster here. It's just not going to play that much of a role. And so some of the other gadgets get a chance to shine during this Frenzy. But here we are at the water section. This is a really scary place to drive through with all these projectiles flying from the air. The Dark Gaia Phoenix from Sonic Unleashed unleashing the fire feathers all around.
Yeah, you kind of got to know, like, am I going left? Am I going right? You got to keep an eye on for where they elect to kind of set the water ablaze there.
Yeah, also the water section.
Track.
A good place to get a bunch of rings if you're Dr. Feelgood here with this gadget set that has Air Trick Bounty and Air Trick Expert. Just look at that. Just farming the rings easily back to 100. That might be the difference maker for this race. We'll see.
100%, that little bit of speed, and we're already on lap 3. It's just crazy how fast this game is, man. I tell you, we're always just on lap 3 before I feel like I've even finished a sentence half the time. It's nuts. But Axial Matt looking to finish the job right now in first place. Can he hold on to it? Not the most favorable item, but if somebody passes him, can definitely put some pressure on him at the very least.
Yeah, I can tell Axial Matt was kind of thinking about, oh, who do I want to hit here? Aiming for Dalakard. Also, Dr. Feelgood, it looks like, getting hit there. Or, yeah, Dalakard taking the lead with a slicer in hand. We'll see. This is not the best defensive item. This is more of an offensive item, but he's got a fire tornado in the back, so if he needs to... Yeah, see, opting to just throw that slicer there, not really caring about who it hits.
Oh, smart right there on the release. Keeps himself safe, just gets past Matt as well. Final straightaway boost, not gonna stop the slime. Can he get down there? He's so close to getting another first place, but no, Miku, something to say, steals it at the last minute, and it's Corgi Cam popping off.
And that,
wow.
We'll take that.
That slime was the big difference maker there, slowing him down to a crawl. Corgi Cam maybe had a defense item, able to pull himself to the front there and take that win. That was insane.
Oh my God, that was amazing. That might have been my favorite finish we've seen thus far. It's definitely up there. That was crazy, Gabby.
Yeah, Corgi Cam showing out for Team Zootopia, and I feel like what we saw from Dalakard was what he should have been doing too, right? Emerald, great item management and making sure he had a defensive item available, but just too much for him to try to fight off.
Yeah, that's the danger of being in the front position. You never know what's going to be able to hit. I mean, you can only be so prepared, right? And he had the fire tornado getting a little bit aggressive there to try to take that first place spot, like kind of near the end, but it might have been just a little bit too early. That fire tornado would have been able to defend him from the slime. So
yeah, very true, very true. I feel like it was just he was at the straightaway. He's just like, I just got to go for it. I just want to protect myself, make sure I get it because somebody's in my vicinity. At the very least, I have protection. I'm going to hit somebody, but unfortunately, that slime. We hadn't seen the slime yet, so you knew it was bound to hit inevitably. Crazy.
And let's see how those finishes ended up impacting the standings, because we only have 2 more races after this. Axial Matt is still holding on to that #1 position with 129 points. And Emerald Lil Aggie had some unfortunate finishes, but has still managed to hold this #2 spot.
yeah, he's looking really strong. I mean, that last race wasn't the best, obviously. You're not looking for 4 points there. Obviously, a little bit more would be nice, but, you know, all it would take is a couple of first-place finishes as well as Axial Matt kind of having to place probably outside of the top 3 in order for Lil Aggie to come through, but definitely possible, especially if Lil Aggie knows that himself and is like, oh, yeah, I got to make sure that Axial Matt guy doesn't pass me in the standings here. I'll make sure he finishes in like 8th or something.
Chloe, though, EE, you were still gassing up Chloe in the last race. Are you still on that, that
That's
train?
my homie. That's my homie. I'll always be Team Chloe, okay? First, you know what I'm saying? I'll always be Team Chloe. You can be 12th down there. You're still first over here, Chloe. You're still good to me. You got a couple more races. Don't be discouraged. It's all good. I mean, at the end of the day, right? Like when you kind of like know pretty much like where your place is going to be, that's when I actually think you can just kind of throw even more caution to the wind and just go all out. You know what I mean? Just go ballistic, be the chaos, play spoiler for somebody who might try to get one of those podium finishes. You know what I mean? Just give them a bad day. It doesn't matter at that point. Just do what you do.
And it's nice because on Twitch Rivals, there are no losers. Even if you finish last, you're still going to walk away not just with a good time here on Twitch Rivals, but $750. And everyone that we're seeing today on the track did get here by qualifying in our North American and European qualifiers. So, there's already been wins had there.
Yep.
I think we're all winners, though, for getting to witness so many cool things in all of these courses and CrossWorlds, because Emerald, you were talking about Dark Gaia making an appearance, looking so cool.
Yeah, I really love these tracks. As a Sonic fan for many years, it's really cool to see the callbacks to the different stages that exist from different Sonic games. That one being from Sonic Unleashed, one of my favorite games. It's such a treat, man. Such a great experience to be able to like, and of course, I just love the way as well that it's always a different experience when you're on these tracks. Like we're starting here in Radical Highway, but we don't know where we're going to end up on lap 2. And I think that just keeps things fresh and interesting, and keeps you thinking on your feet as well.
Ow.
All right, here we go.
How did I not
Current first place, Axial Matt. And then Matt is just got such there's a couple of things that can guarantee Matt a victory here, right? Like just don't fall maybe like outside the top 4 or 5 in placings, and you gotta pray Aggie doesn't just go ahead and decide to win the last 2, because we had a situation in our EU qualifiers where somebody actually won the last 2 races and either got in barely or still it wasn't enough. But in the case of Aggie, it would definitely be enough to usurp Matt. So we'll see what happens right now. Definitely eager to see how this is going to go down. But we still have plenty more racers involved here, including Horty, who has been an absolute treat to watch as well.
Yeah, Horty went for that shortcut that was kind of like on the top part of the bridge, a really difficult one to pull off. It's really easy to fly off, but she ended up finishing up in the first place position here and with a shield, so she has some good defense. But things can change up at any instance here with this CrossWorld. Let's see where they end up.
Let's see, where are we heading right now? Oh, getting to a little
Chloe
bit
kind of bullying her right there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Chloe, I told you, looking to play spoiler to somebody at this point.
Just get in their way. Oh wow, okay. Corgi Cam getting hit by probably a glove or something from behind. Axial Matt got a good defensive item here with this fire tornado. Not able to pull it off fast enough though, because if the punch comes out really close to you, you don't have much of a chance to look at that indicator to really react to it. And one of the racers behind him abusing that.
All right, Dr. Feelgood with the Miku. Trying to hold strong right now. We've seen Dr. Feelgood definitely have some solid performances. I mean, you don't just get third by accident. So it's definitely somebody still trying to stay in the fray for show. Got
a boost wisp. If I'm Dr. Feelgood, I'm holding on to that right now. But what I will say is, honestly, there's not a crazy off-road here in Radical Highway to be able to abuse that boost wisp the most. So it's honestly something to consider, because you might want to get rid of that and see if you could trade it in for something that might have a little bit more impact, like a laser or something.
Yeah, very good point. Very good point. Oh, Chibi right now with the first place fire tornado. Gets the boost and an additional item. Let's see what she's going to roll here. Looking like, okay. So we got defense and offense. Yeah, not too bad at all.
The Slicer coming to get her, so she had to burn that fire tornado in order to not get slowed down, but she's playing really well.
Yep.
Hey, man.
Well, oh, that's
Altia, I think.
Altia, yeah.
All right, Altia, while sneaking into first. Hold on now, Altia. Trying to make a difference. Got caught by that bomb.
Hitting a couple other people, but unfortunately hitting herself a little bit there.
Yeah.
Oh, little Aggie's got the boost King Wisp here. I can see it in his hands near the front.
Go back!
Slime. Oh no, Dark Chow. Excuse me, it was not
Dark
slime.
Chow.
Okay, second's fine. Second's fine.
Auch mal wieder
Wow,
zurück.
Dalucard actually using the slipstream there, driving behind little Aggie to just barely pull ahead. That was really smart stuff by Dalucard there, taking the first place, and he's back in that first place spot.
There you go. I mean, he's definitely been absent for quite a few games, but definitely somebody we've seen in the fray for sure. Just hasn't been able to close it out. That time, though, getting back to those winning ways with a much-needed first-place boost. Again, with Matt right there, I think finishing 4th, his lead does stay solidified for now, but I feel like 2 through 4, a lot more interchangeable parts there. So you want to make sure you're just getting as high as you can. Dalucard, a big win in course 15.
And what a great technical finish, too, using the slipstream to his advantage. And you know it's going to be tight here in the end. So you only have one more race after this. I do also love getting to see the continued development of play style. I know, Emerald, y'all were both talking about how Chibi is racing really well. And since we've seen her switch off of the previous gadget, I also feel like we see more leaning into that, just going for the single charge again and again and again for her to consistently pull through for towards the top finish at least.
Yeah, it can be really difficult sometimes to get those higher drift charges off because you're putting yourself kind of at a disadvantage while drifting. And if you get hit during it, it kind of like knocks you off your flow, right? Like you might be in the middle of a turn. It's really hard to get back into it, especially on the extreme gear that she's using.
And I feel like during some of the qualifiers, particularly with the racers in the European qualifier, there was so much use of extreme gear, but we're seeing some variety in vehicles and just builds in general in those that are consistently getting across the finish line with podium positioning. I mean, Dalucard, for instance, very consistent and controlled strategy.
Yeah, I love it because, too, like the meta for this game is still evolving, right? I don't feel like anything is quite yet solved. We're just kind of figuring out what works best, and there might be counters to that. You know what I mean? There might be upgrades to that. You never really quite know. So still plenty more to come. This game, again, like I said, it's in its infancy. So people right now just doing their best, experimenting and finding a lot of success among those experiments. Most notably right now would be Axial Matt, who has a 12th place lead over the next person, that being Aggie in 2nd place. So as long as things don't go horribly wrong right here, I think Matt, we might be doing another interview with him because I think he might take this one home too.
Yeah, he's looking really strong, and I really like the build that he's got here. He's got a good balanced build with the gadgets, as well as he's using a speed character, that being Shadow, in a handling vehicle. I don't remember the exact name of this vehicle. I know it is a handling one. It's Silver's car. It's one of my favorites to drive in like that handling category. It's really good at being able to take these turns super easily, and that might be the difference maker here. Axial Matt just taking these turns so well, as you can see, so tight to the sides.
Oof. I guess clipped a little bit. Let's see what we get. Okay.
This is a great item to have here in 6th place. Might have to burn it. Yeah. Unfortunately, that's this game's way of kind of anti-bagging. So like making people not hold their items for too long. It's kind of like in order to not get hit by this item, I'm gonna have to burn the item I'm currently holding to be able to like keep my positioning.
Ooh, kind of ran right into that magnet too. So you're just gonna get slowed down for free. And barely avoids the bomb that was on the right side too. So a lot of chaos right here. A lot of slime. King getting involved too. Chaos right now unfolding as we head into lap number 3 with Axial Matt trying to find his way back to the front, where Chibi is currently in the lead, but only momentarily. They didn't mean to commentator cursor there, but got clipped.
She's fighting for her life.
Back. Seriously, what a battle we have. This is the last course, so you know it means the world to everybody trying to get that first place. Aggie getting a little bit of a boost with the drill coming through, and he has 3 wisps as well in tow to definitely make a comeback.
Let's see how he uses those items. He's got a monster truck in the back here. He might want to, honestly, burn those boost wisps as he is so that he can defend himself from that slicer. Crushing everybody. That is like 4 or 5 hits on different racers there. Being able to pull ahead to this water section with a boost wisp.
Okay. Tough turn right there. Actually bouncing between somebody to kind of maybe make sure the momentum doesn't get away from him. That was slick. But look at Matt here. Anyone behind you, Matt? Oh, no, that's another first place for Matt. Crown him king. How does he do it, folks?
Where did he get that monster truck, man? That was pivotal. That allowed him to just easily cruise to that first place finish. And what a dominant victory there from Axial Matt. Very good.
having it when I feel like he was already like in third or fourth, and that just like being the separator right there, that's crazy. Must have been holding that for a minute. He got pretty fortunate, but he used it well.
I was worried for a second too when he drove through that magnet, and I mean, we saw so many punches coming around. It's is he going to be able to pull through for that number 1 finish? But there you have it. What strong play from Axial Matt throughout today's event, EE. I mean, I think that you may have been correct in suggesting that we might be interviewing Axial Matt later, but we'll find out. We'll find out. For now, my friends, chat, our friends at State Farm need your help in selecting the perfect good neighbor for us to shine a bright light on later today. So go to the polling extension now and choose who you want to see featured in our State Farm Good Neighbor Spotlight segment later on in the show. For now, we are kicking it to a break, but on the other side, we will find out who our champion of the Cruisers category is here on Twitch Rivals.
That's how it's done.
Oh, my back.
Hey, how about a little friendly support? Thank you. Want even more support? Yeah, okay. Ah, memories. Wow, you should see your face right now. Who took this photo? Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Welcome back to the show. The Sonic Racing CrossWorlds Grand Finals on Twitch Rivals is brought to you by Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. Available now with over 24 courses, 15 CrossWorlds, and a 23 character base roster. This is the biggest Sonic racing game yet. And there is so much more content on the way. Purchasing the Digital Deluxe Edition will grant you the Season Pass, which is crammed with guest characters, vehicles, courses, and so much more from some of your favorite entertainment franchises, including Minecraft, SpongeBob SquarePants, and even Pac-Man. Learn more at racecrossworlds.com and follow the official X account for the latest updates. And thank you again to Sonic Racing CrossWorlds for making today's event possible. Chat, we are moments away from crowning our grand champion of the cruisers category here for our Sonic Racing CrossWorlds Grand Finals. EE and Emerald with me once again. Let's go ahead and find out who our champion is. I think we may have an idea, but Axial Matt finishing in first place, followed by Lil Aggie and Dalakard. It is no surprise, Emerald, that we called all three of those drivers out today as ones to watch.
Yeah, they definitely proved that they deserve to be in this qualifying group, and they played absurdly well today. Dalakard kind of starting out with a crazy dominant start there. I didn't think anybody could pass him, but Axial Matt was kind of nipping at the heels the entire time, playing super consistently and managing to take that first place.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, when I kind of look at the fact that, you know, it seemed like a stranglehold was there for Dalakard, you know, early on the first like 5 or 6 races. But to your point, you know, a lot of people just like keep playing their race. Like, okay, we'll get our opportunity. We'll get our spots. We'll accumulate those points when it matters most. And that certainly was the case for Matt. I mean, he just out of nowhere just started showing off. And the thing that was most impressive to me with Matt was he didn't do it with a bunch of first place finishes. He did it with a bunch of consistency. And that was the key and the difference.
Exactly. Dalakard starting off with a 21-point lead, but eventually surpassed by the consistency of Axial Matt, our champion of the cruisers category, who we're going to hear from once again. We had the pleasure of checking in with Matt at the start of our show, and now we get to recap our section here as well. Welcome back, Matt. Congratulations.
Hey, good to see you. Thank you so much.
Good to see you.
I thought Dalakard had that. You were right. He took such an early lead. I was like, that's okay. That's it. But I can't believe I'm here.
Yeah. Was there any impact on strategy in terms of how that you realized that Dalakard had such a heavy lead?
No. I was just kind of like, maybe I should take the turns a little bit tighter, but it was really one of those like, yeah, this is what I know. This is what I had been playing with for like a week. If it's not going to work, it's not going to work, and that's okay. But, yeah, I can't believe we got it.
Yeah, I mean, well, it obviously worked. And what did I tell you in that opening interview? I said you had 3 achievements to get, and it looks like you succeeded in getting the other one. So big ups to you.
I'll have to get a trophy. I'll go get one made.
No, we found out Sega is providing a trophy.
Yeah.
So,
are you for real?
Yeah, you are going to get something. Yeah, I just had to cut into, because we found this out after we spoke to you last, that someone from Twitch did let us know Sega's providing a trophy. So, yes.
Oh, that's really awesome.
Just cutting in for that before I
put that.
Now, I have a question, Matt, because you seem like such a humble dude. But tell me the truth. Did you think you had a pretty good chance to win this going into it, despite 6 talented players coming over from EU as well to join the group?
I thought there might be like a chance, but I had seen like Dalakard doing some stuff. I was like, yeah, no, I don't think I've got it after that. It's kind of just crazy that I'm here at this point. It's also super funny that you say I'm humble. My last name is Bragg, by the way.
Okay.
Well, I don't know, man. It didn't sound like that. It didn't sound like that at the beginning here. I feel like you went in with a good level head, and I think it played out really well for you over the course of the races, especially just like even the way that you talked about it. You were just kind of like, well, all I can do is like take up all of like my experience that I've had over this last week and just play the best of my abilities. And you really pull. I mean, it was great to see you pull ahead, man. It's great to see somebody with a level head be able to do something like that in any competition.
Thank you.
So Good job.
I used to do like Smash Brothers stuff, and that's what I learned from that was like if you go in there and you get upset, you're done. You can't. So I just figured just keep it level and you're good. You know, you'll do or you won't, and that's okay.
Love it.
Your even-keeled disposition, a contributor to your overall victory today. Before I let you go to celebrate, any last shout-outs on behalf of yourself or your cat?
I'll leave a shout out to my girlfriend Casey. Big shout out to Chibi. Chibi got me the invite for this, so super shout out to Chibi. And shout out to my friends Ray, Chibi, and Nex. It's just a lot of fun to play with and get to play with them every week. So that's it.
Yay!
And my community,
we
I
love
should say.
when our streamers.
Yeah.
Yes. Shout out to the community.
that's
to everyone that showed up
absolutely
today.
shout out to everyone on Twitch. Really, hell yeah.
Yeah, everybody. But biggest shout out to you, Axial Matt, for your victory today. We'll let you go celebrate. Thanks for stopping by again and enjoy the rest of your day.
No, thank you so much. You have a good one. Bye.
Yes.
Last name Bragg, I don't believe it.
I love that we both are in the same place. Like, what?
That was great.
Yeah. I enjoyed speaking to Axial Matt. I feel like it's always cool when you get to recap. It's very rare that the person at the end of the day ends up being the person we talked to at first.
Yeah, because I've done a lot of Twitch rivals, and I can't really recall too many times where like the opening interview is the closing one as well for that particular category. So kudos to Matt. I mean, just consistency was the theme and was the key to victory on that. So, you know, despite him winning for the cruisers, you could have thrown Matt in the racers and could probably be a problem too, which we're going to see coming up. Like, he is just that good. So big ups to him.
Cool to see that shout out towards Chibi as well. Emerald, we spoke plenty about Chibi's impact on the broadcast. So the fact that now we know Chibi is responsible for the champion being able to compete, that's just something extra.
Yeah, that is. It's a little something special, you know. You never know. Sometimes you bring in your friend and then they end up beating you in the competition. You just bring them, like I'm sure EE knows with like the Smash thing. You carpool with some friends to a tournament. You never know.
Yeah. sometimes they'll do a little better than you. You're just sitting there waiting, like, okay.
Yeah,
got another 3 hours here. Okay.
Yeah, but it's so great to see somebody with such a level head competing and doing it so at a top level where he's winning. Like, that's always great to see.
You know what this
and that does complete our cruisers category here in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds Grand Finals. We are moving on to our racers playing at Sonic Speed, and EE, they're on their way.
I am so ready for this. So many notable names in the Racers division. So many multiple-time Twitch Rivals champions through other titles, looking to add another one to the mantle. I can't wait to see who's going to get it done. Fire Dragon, one of those previous champions I am talking about. And not at all surprised to see Fire Dragon on the Miku. Definitely some big weeb energy from my boy, and I'm not mad about it at all. Let's go.
Yeah, Fire Dragon, long-time speedrunner, been doing it for many years. Actually, one of the people that got me into speedrunning. He's just proven that he can do well at all sorts of different types of games, including racing games. And I've been seeing him practice a lot, so it's really cool to start out seeing him do this. And you can see he's kind of bobbing and weaving and snaking into the front positions here.
All right, here's one of my favorite stages right here. I just think the roulette portion of this is just so godly. It just encapsulates everything. I know Bear was a big fan of it, being a Vegas guy for sure. I just want to co-sign that. I too enjoy this stage quite a bit. And I'm enjoying what we're seeing out of Fire Dragon as well. A lot of consistency here in the first 2 laps, holding on to this first place.
Yeah, you can see he just did that back bomb there, kind of just to increase his lead the best that he could. But this is where things kind of switch up. We have to see how well these racers are going to be able to take this turn here. This is where a lot of people get hung up. You got to let go of the accelerator there and just hold the drift to be able to make these turns. And we see CPK doing that very well. Also using that ultimate charge there with the level 4 drift charge. Being able to defend himself against some items, as well as be a little bit aggressive there with that fire tornado that he's got.
Yes, looks like that fire tornado took a hit on Coney. You're going to try to drag him back a little bit as well. So let's go.
Yeah, this is the last.
9th place.
Ooh.
Bad
Monster
squish.
truck.
Yeah.
This is the last place you want to be hit on this last lap. It's just really hard to get the dice rolling again. But here we go. We got the drill coming out from CPK, trying to get into the lead here. He's got a triple wisp on deck. Maybe takes this last cut here. It might not be enough to pull to the lead. The King Boom Boo slowing the pack, though.
Ooh, okay. Just barely getting in there. And there's Coney as well. So that was an interesting first little tight finish that we had. Interested to see these standings right there. Mr. Carrero actually taking first place. Now I have a question, Emerald. Do you remember who I said was might be the man to watch in the racer division? Do you remember? Do you recall who I might have said?
I might need you to refresh my memory.
It was Mr. Carrero. That's my dog right there. Love that guy. And he opens it up with a first place finish. Let's go. Come on.
Why you sound like you just drove across the finish line in first place?
Vicariously. I'm living vicariously through my people.
That's what we do here as the casters on Twitch Rivals. We just live vicariously through every streamer. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I do that too. I've been watching CPK for a very long time. This is his 13th event entered. And I think the impressive thing of CPK's performance in the qualifier is that he showed he's somebody who is just a gamer through and through with so many games that even though he didn't really make a splash in the first few races, he was able to come through with a solid qualification. Do you think, Emerald, maybe we'll see something like that today? Some drivers warming into it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think we even saw it in the last group with the cruisers, is that they definitely were warming up into the races. So they just need get it all the nerves shaken out, and then they'll be fine. They just have to drive and get used to it. Just remind themselves that they have put the time in to be where they are, and then just get a little bit more comfortable.
And you love to see that start with the Roulette Road making an appearance. EE, you were talking about it. Giving a shout out to our boy Bear, who's not here, but was with us for the qualifiers. Always pointing out when we're on Roulette Road. But we'll see what happens in course 2.
Absolutely. I'm excited. Here's Games Cage right now. I know I was giving a lot of love to Carrera for opening up with the victory, but Games Cage was not too far behind. Had a 3rd place finish in that opening race. And we know Games Cage is definitely going to be one of the favorites for sure. I mean, just showed such a mastery and such a convincing victory in the qualifier last weekend. Really hard to put a lot of people ahead of Games Cage. So I'm excited to see what he's going to be able to do when it's all said and done.
Yeah, and we're switching our perspective over here to Dangers, actually. And Dangers is somebody else I really want to watch out for because, again, one of those speedrunners. I know he's quite the gamer, but I've also been watching this whole week. He's been grinding. He's been practicing a lot. So I feel like he has a lot better understanding of what he needs to do. You can see there, he's taking that shortcut there, trying to close the distance between him and first a little bit. He definitely is coming back with a bite compared to last time.
All right, well, let's go over to Scootish right now, showing up as well. 9th place. And Bruce Bliss on deck in case we're going to need that. Man, I tell you, there's that Sakura too. Sakura was another person we haven't gotten a chance to get their perspective yet. As we see a terrible fall off, very unfortunate. But Sakura actually took down a couple races as well. I think like 5 in the qualifiers as well. So we got a lot of people through here who have really put together multiple wins in their qualifiers. That just, you put them all together. It's just no telling what can happen. Just adds to the excitement. And Grand Pooh Bear, I don't know what's going on right here. Playing with his toes right now. What the heck?
Getting a little stuck. And once you start driving into those walls, it can be really difficult to get yourself away from them. Grand Pooh Bear kind of experiencing that himself, but he's definitely not out of it. Just needs a really good item here to swing him back in the lead. Looking for like a drill wisp or something.
Yes.
We got Scrappy getting hit here by people are getting scrappy with him, hitting him with the slicer. But got a monster truck to go back. Kind of got the sights aimed on Games Cage. I wonder if Games Cage is going to get flattened by this. Not quite. Gonna run out.
Remember last week, it seemed like Games Cage was really good at utilizing like the back camera, always being aware, like, who's around me, who's behind me, and what kind of threats could be lurking. Not just using the audio cue, but using the camera to your advantage too. So somebody trying to sneak up on Games Cage, I don't think it's going to be that easy, especially if he's ready and he's got a defensive item to defend himself. But right now, Dangers looking to get that first place finish. It looks like that's going to be the case. And really, Emerald, not anyone too close to him either. Dangers kind of convincingly winning that one.
Yeah, he kind of pulled away there. I almost wonder if before we switched over, if he had like one of those boost wisps to be able to take that off-road or something to really clear the distance there. And that just shows you how important it is to hold on to your resources going into that last lap. It can be a big difference maker. He had so much space behind him.
As you said, Emerald, Dangerous coming back with a bite compared to last time, and those teeth were sinking deep in race number 2 for that first place finish. But it's still early. We still have so many people that can come through. Grand Pooh Bear, for instance, not having a great race then, but not someone you should count out.
Yeah, not at all. Grand Pooh Bear is a very decorated participant of Twitch Rivals over the years. So, somebody who I definitely know can rally and make it kind of clean things up is definitely going to be Grand Pooh Bear. Sitting already some consistency though for Mr. Carrera right there. Didn't win that one, but was in second place. And then Coney as well getting third place. That's my dog right there, one of my good friends, Coney. So nice to see that top 3 made up of some homies and talent for sure.
Are we learning, that your friends are good at gaming?
Yeah, I'm all there. You know what? I aspire to just have the level of talent they do. But since I don't, they rock the sticks, I rock the mic. It's a good balance.
Emerald, your friends are good at gaming too. You got some Sonic fam here. So we got both of you with some reps.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always looking out for the speedrunning homies. It's a very it's a small community that I love very deeply. So anytime I see the speedrunners out here, not only do I know that they're going to be fierce competitors, but I'm always trying to root for them.
Well,
also, we of course can't count out Games Cage either, because that's the Sonic man right there. So I want to see him kind of start to pull away. That last race didn't go so great for him, but I know he's put in the hours to be able to get back in the lead here.
Yeah, I feel like Games Cage is just going to be inevitable, right? Like at some point, it's just going to just click again and just going to be an all-out war for these top place finishes. So we're definitely keeping an eye on Game Cage. But right now, Mr. Carrero doing a good job in second place. Got the magnet. Hold on to it right now. Briefly, let's see. Maybe looking to let it go on this turn, make it a little bit more difficult for somebody trying to ride on that ledge. Oh, but the difficulty belonging to him, he got caught up there a little bit. And slows him all the way down to 8th.
Yeah, that bomb really threw him off there, and I don't blame you. Sometimes you get hit by that item and you get pushed into the wall. I mean, even just a driver kind of bumping into you while you're trying to take a drift can really set you off course, and it can really mess with your flow. So, but it's the beginning of lap 2. There's still plenty of chance to come back.
No doubt about that. Speaking of Game Cage, there he is, 5th place. Make it 4th, make it 3rd. Hold on now, keep it going. It's like an auction. How high can we go with the placements? Trying to make it do what it do. He's on the Miku too. So yeah, unleashing the Miku, definitely the best decision that they made, because she is getting all the representation. And on the weekend of her festival as well, you love to see it.
Fine. Yeah, absolutely. And Games Cage, he's here near the front here, but he's pretty low on rings. In order to maintain that lead, he's going to have to get more rings here from that air trick bounty or from the different trails of rings around here. But it's looking like Lars as well is kind of low on rings. But this last lap, if you didn't know, there's a lot of things that spawn here. More boost pads, more items, and more rings. Yep. So definitely an opportunity for things to switch up.
All right, let's see. Final stretch right now. Oh, this is a really good item set for Carrero to have in first place. Boost Wisp and the Fire Tornado. That's terrific.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. If I'm somebody behind and I see, just like that, if I see somebody with a Boost Wisp, I'm definitely throwing that slicer at him and make him lose that item. Especially with this last shortcut here on this off-road, because it can really be the deciding factor on if you win the race or not.
It really can be, and hitting that wall ever so slightly can be enough. Let's see. Scootish.
You're fucking kidding me,
King Boom Boo flying to the front. It's targeting Games Cage. He doesn't have any answers to it, but is able to be right next to the boost ring. Not going to be too bad of a loss in placings there. And there's your boy, Mr. Carrero, getting the #1 spot again.
That's so crazy. When last we saw, he was in 9th place, if I'm not mistaken. But I think he had the wisp that the laser one. So I guess at some point he was able to circumvent the little circle right there over the grass, and I guess maybe even dodge the King Boom Boo and just steals first place right there. I'm assuming that's what happened. Either way, excellent job. Excellent job, Carrero. Making me look good over here. I like it.
Linking together all the details needed for a second first place finish in the first 3 courses. That's definitely a good way to start. I love that you mentioned how Mr. Carrero ended up using the laser, because I think Emerald, we saw Socorro use it where you could tell there was that half second of waiting just to make sure there were the maximum number of crystals before releasing. And I feel like that shows how much practice our racers have been doing since the last time we saw them.
Oh yeah, the game knowledge is going to play a big role here. Knowing stuff like that, like knowing about the crystals, knowing that like you can drive into an off-road and let that laser go just to get over that off-road, like stuff like that. Like you're only going to really get that knowledge from playing more, and we're definitely seeing the people in the racers category here show their stuff and show that they know more about the game.
And we've seen the impact of when you get hit by an offensive item. Yet in terms of defensive strategy, it's not just items. It's things that you can bring with your gadgets that enable this. It's the timing of using items to be able to avoid things. So that game knowledge that Emerald was just talking about, I love seeing this evolution.
Oh yeah, 100%. Because really what it comes down to is understanding like, yeah, items are always going to play a big factor, but the gadgets too. Like how do we have these interactions? Like what are the slots that are going to help me, kind of, for when I'm building a car, so okay, where are some of my weak areas? What are the gadgets that are going to kind of compensate for that, right? And I can just excel in everything else. It's really awesome to see how it plays a factor in also different tracks as well, right? It's not just like kind of like a one trick thing, you know what I mean? There's so many different variables among all these courses that we have. CrossWorlds, it really makes you kind of race in a different way, and I love that. Emerald, you made a great point about how they kind of punish you if you're trying to bag. I think that's fantastic. I think bagging sucks. I think, you know what I mean? I think that's a great way to circumvent some of that. So you really kind of have to come with something different when it comes to CrossWorlds, and that's what makes it such a great game. It's awesome.
Agreed. One thing too, because I feel like we're talking a lot about the possibilities, the more you play and the elite racers that we're seeing before us. For anyone that is wanting to play that is not as familiar with Sonic games or maybe not as comfortable with the controls when it comes to racing, you got drive assist there. And so it's a really good way to go and get to know the course, because I know that can be frustrating when you're trying to understand even just one portion of something that's so new to you. So I really appreciate that Sonic Racing CrossWorlds also makes the game so accessible. With Emerald is so key when you're trying to get your friends to play, right?
Yeah, for sure. They definitely have like some other settings you can mess with too. Like you can change the camera. You start out on like a classic camera, which is more zoomed in perspective, or you could do a dynamic cam, which is a little bit more zoomed out. You can see a little bit better. There's also steering sensitivity is a thing that you can adjust in the game. It starts out in the middle, but you can make it more sensitive or less sensitive depending on, if you're feeling you're bumping into walls a little bit too much. So there's definitely ways that you can play and like not feel too overwhelmed by getting into something like this. I think it's like very easily accessible, and it's still fun no matter the skill level.
Yeah, for sure. I think, there's trick assist. There's all kinds of things that you can customize for your experience. EE, were you laughing at something? I feel like you looked to the side and you had a giggle.
I just read the chat for a second. This is just this guy who comes in my chat. He's just a funny guy. He's enjoying the show, so it's just funny to see him in there. I didn't even know he liked Sonic. That's great.
What's his name? Shout out.
Shout out to my boy James Bueno. My boy James Bueno in the chat. I love it because I told my community I was doing this, so I'm glad everybody showed up. They're having a good time.
Nice. Saw that genuine smile creep up. I was a bit curious of who caused it, so good to know. Good to know. Some of our racers will be smiling more than others, though. So let's find out who exactly that is as we check back in with our standings after the first 3 races. No surprise with 2 first-place finishes. Mr. Kororo is in the number 1 position, but Emerald is not just Games Cage that's there trailing behind. Dangers as well, who you were talking about in race number 2, pulling through with that win.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing really well. I'm glad that he's proving me right on my side of things, where I was like, hey, man, you got to watch out for this guy because he's been putting in the time. He's been putting in the work. I know he's really good at getting good at games. So, but definitely can't sleep on like everybody. We got Fire Dragon as well, kind of in the middle of the road. Coney, I know, is really good at getting good at games as well. It's still anybody's competition. CPK down there as well. Like it's all really close, and we've only done 3 races so far, so plenty of an opportunity to switch things up.
For sure. We tuned in with Lars for a little bit during the set of races, but we watched Lars plenty during the qualifier, a streamer who takes pride in his ability to analyze the courses and adapt to what they end up posing in terms of challenges. Because we've seen a lot of hazards that have had a huge impact, and those that understand the courses are going to have an easier time than others.
Yeah, you're gonna really have, like, again, one of the benefits, of the qualifiers and the grand finals being a week apart is just more time to grind out, more time to understand not just the gadgets, but as well as those courses for sure. Because, Emerald, I love how you're always pointing out the fact, like, that, when there are shortcuts available, the ones that make the difference, I think is really cool, but it comes with some risk reward. So I'm wanting to get down to one of those situations where it's like lap 3, you're super close neck and neck with somebody, and you just take that course, and it is the true difference maker. I feel like it's inevitable. We are in the harder division here with our racers, so I just feel like we're just going to get those nail-biting endings that we've become accustomed to in this competition.
That brings up a good point of the fact that those that are making podium finishes, it feels like they do at some point usually make some crazy cut on the course. So Emerald, because competition is even tighter when it comes to the racers category, do you feel that you have to be willing to make those risky plays to have a chance at winning today's competition?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot more. I think the item play plays a bigger role now, just because you have so many more, so you're racing against so many people who know the game well at this point and are going to be kind of like fighting against you, kind of looking to see if you take those off-road shortcuts and maybe target you, but you gotta, kind of observe your surroundings, see what other people around you have like in their hands, like, because they hold it out kind of like this, like right next to them. Checking the back camera, seeing when it makes sense to take risks and when not to. But those risks, they pay off really big if you're able to do it at an opportune time.
Yeah, and with Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, there's so much to get to know. As we mentioned earlier in the day, it's the biggest Sonic Racing game yet. The amount of versatility that you run into when you're playing because of the 24 courses, 15 CrossWorlds, there's just so much that makes every single run absolutely unique. And the more experience you get doing so, the less surprises you will face when actually taking to our races today. And we've got so much more to come, Are there any big differences when comparing to the cruisers that you have noticed when looking at the racers?
It's kind of like early, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's hard to really like give a definitive answer to that. I will say this though, like obviously I understand like, how it was categorized, like more casual versus more competitive. But again, there's a couple of our cruisers who I definitely think could hang in our racers group for sure. And that's not a knock to anybody. It's just a compliment to them and how talented I think they are for sure. When I'm looking at our racers though, for me, it's going to be like, who is going to kind of come up from that bottom rung right now and just kind of ascend? We talked about Grand Pooh Bear earlier. Right now, I think he's like in dead last place with like, 1-2-1 finishes on points. So obviously not going to be good enough to get anywhere where I'm sure his standards are elevated at. So, definitely want to see as we progress how they're going to kind of like overcome that, kind of settle in a little bit more. It's hard to say for me when these guys are so good and so seasoned that nerves are still a thing, but maybe nerves are a little bit of a thing. You just got to play your way out of that for sure. So, still a lot of races to come, nothing definitive, but I do like the consistency we're seeing at the top thus far. But our cruiser division proved it don't matter if you open up with 4 out of 5 wins, it's not enough to guarantee a first place on that podium.
It's really not. It's really not. And I feel like the closer competition is, the more variable things become in the actual placements, because it's just a couple different factors that can change who comes in that first place. And I wanted to follow up a bit more on some of the overall development as our racers become more familiar with the game state, because we already talked about some of the differences we've seen from the qualifier to the grand finals. And I was honestly expecting, with Miku being available and us seeing so much extreme gear, that we would see more of our drivers in both categories kind of going with that combo. But I feel like we've seen different pairings, right? Of, characters that are focusing on boosting and vehicles with handling. I'm wondering what your experience, Emerald, as somebody with over 80 hours into the game already. What are your thoughts when it comes to that build, going with synergy between vehicles and characters versus mixing and matching?
I think the beautiful thing about this game is it is about comfortability. You know, there is no one correct option, I feel like. So I feel like just mixing in, whether it's you want more speed or you want that extra boost from playing as Miku, stuff like that, like it plays a very small role in the overall, like, you know, strategy that you might have. But I think, you know, ultimately it just comes down to what you feel is the best. Like for me, like I think some of the turns can be really difficult for me to make, I'll be honest. So what I like to do is I like to play a handling character, and that makes it feel a lot easier for me to be able to cut those turns a little bit closer, get that little bit of extra distance.
Yeah, I'm right there with you on some of the difficult turns. But course number 4 is ready to go. Our racers are back at it.
All right, let's go. We are currently kicking it with Mr. Carrero as he's holding first place at the moment. See if he can have another good performance and try and maintain that. He has put some good distance between him with the point total for sure. About 20 points, if I'm not mistaken, between him and second place. But as we know, that does not assure victory. So still got to be on your P's and Q's to lock this one away, Emerald. And a good start right there. Interrupted, though, with that homing rocket. Unfortunate.
Yeah, it's going to slow him down there a little bit, but he's not out of it. He had a really strong start there, kind of snaking and taking some really like solid lines. We're switching our perspective here to Fire Dragon, who's in the front. Kind of curious how many of these people will start to opt for that shortcut that's kind of on that lower section there, but it makes sense that a lot of these racers are going to want to go for these item sets, especially Fi not having any defensive item and still kind of not really having a defensive item. The boost wisp can be used to block certain items that might come your way, like that slime, but you know, kind of feeling a little bit vulnerable here near the front.
Yeah, 100%, especially like, you know, we know like how many items are tailor-made just to disrupt those people in the front, especially before you get kind of to like that final lap too. So you always kind of, I've noticed some people like try and play middle of the pack, or like to your point, make sure they do have something defensive to circumvent any kind of damage that might come their way if in fact they do get targeted or just hit on. And sometimes it's just unavoidable. Right now, a little item swap up thanks to Dark Chow. Give a bomb right here and a rocket punch. Seen that rocket punch a lot actually today. Been putting in some work for racers.
Oh yeah, it's really good at targeting very specific racers. The even just like there's the green and the red one, but even the green one can do a lot of damage. The red one being a little bit stronger, having better homing on properties. We see Scootish actually pulling into the lead. I thought the Dark Chow actually was going to mess him up the most. He had a really, really good item set because he had the laser and the shield, but we can see he's still, you know, he's still in a good position. He's kind of near the front of the racers. But we see Dangers here getting tailed by a monster truck.
Wow,
getting smushed right before this turn. That's not a great spot to get hit, but at least there is a set of items right here. Maybe give him something to catch back up.
Yeah, getting squished there is just so difficult because you're in the immediate before like the item set. You don't have anything that's going to help recover any kind of positioning or speed there. So just going to have to hope you roll something well. We're seeing Carrera right now. Still has a wisp there. Going to just let that fly. But, oh, Fire Dragon. I feel like Fire Dragon we see so many times. Ooh, opt to be in a good position, but doesn't quite finish as strong.
That's an item use!
I think Gabe's Cage actually took that one down. Popping off with silver. There we go.
That's the energy. That's what he needs to get himself hyped up for the rest of these races. A really good first place finish there to boost his confidence.
Yeah, that was the first place finish, right? Yep. Emerald from Games Cage?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, you're probably like, I mean, obviously, because Mr. Carrero's been winning. So.
Well, I mean, hey, you know, Carrero's my guy, but Games Cage, like we absolutely acknowledge like how godlike he is at this game and his level of Sonic enthusiasm for sure. Like he is that dude. And I said it, he's gonna be inevitable. He's gonna stack together a couple of first place finishes. So don't be surprised he's got a couple more in him as well. That was phenomenal.
Too many good racers in this category, because Danger's got to give him a shout out again too. Emerald there in the end, not able to get enough going, but clearly holding on to the right items to try and make that last push for a good finish.
yeah, you know, sometimes it doesn't shake out in your favor. Sometimes you can only prepare yourself so much. The unexpected can happen in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds just because it's that really chaotic ending, especially if the other racers, again, are taking note that Dangerous has been playing really well. They see him there. They're like, oh, I don't want that guy to have more points. I'm going to hit him specifically. So...
yeah, no surprise with that line of thinking. The homing punch and rocket punch seeing a lot of action, not just in this course, but in others. I do feel like, yeah, the rocket punch, even though the homing isn't the same, if you're close enough where you can nearly guarantee that hit, it is just as effective. And EE, I'm sure, will play a role here in course number 5.
Absolutely. Going into course number 5 with Sakura, one of those people I mentioned in their EU qualifier, took down about 4 or 5 wins in their route to getting to this point right now. So currently sitting in 10th, though. Looking to see a little bit of a bounce back there. Going with, of course, the OG Sonic. Going to be the selection, but having some trouble early on. I mean, it's always a little bit of a scrap at the start, but definitely encountering a few hazards that aren't doing him any favors. You can straighten up and get fly right.
Yeah, again, it can be really frustrating getting hit at the beginning with all these items, kind of accidentally getting hit into the off-road there. But the good thing about this is, again, it's like you don't have to deal with the hectic track anymore. Now, Sakura has a lot of opportunity to be able to drive into some rings, get up to top speed, and maybe get some items to come back and be able to fight his way to the front.
Absolutely. Knowing you're in the back, you are pretty much guaranteeing yourself some pretty useful items for sure. So we'll check back in on him later and see what he can do. But here is Lars right now. It's a big deal in the EU qualifiers as well.
I see Lars rocking that quick recovery gadget. That's perfect for the extreme gear, especially because we've mentioned before the extreme gear is kind of like a glass cannon type build. It's one of those things when you get hit by an item, it slows you down really, really hard. It can be difficult to build up that speed.
Absolutely, you feel it. So smart stuff by Lars there again, tailoring to what he, tailoring to some of the weaknesses maybe of this already very impressive build. And then has a monster truck right now too. This is fantastic to have when you're in third, but it is a little risky, right? You don't want to have it snatched up, reset by the slime. Dark Chow could always be a thing as well. So you're kind of keeping it, trying to use it gingerly, but I get a feeling he's gonna have to pop it before we get to that final straightaway on this third lap that we have now just entered.
Yeah, the monster truck being such a strong item, it can be used as an offensive and a defensive item, being invincible while being in that truck. So I don't blame Mr. Carrero for holding on to it. Oh, but not popping it before the King Boom Boo there. Maybe just wants to save it for that last shortcut or something. But now he's gonna have to build up some rings to get back to the front.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking maybe he's like thinking like, okay, maybe it's just more better served here because I think I can naturally like kind of make my way back to the front of the pack. That's a lot of confidence, Emerald. That's racing with a lot of confidence because myself, I would have been mashing that button for protection. Ain't no way I'm messing around with King Boom Boo.
Yeah, that's absolutely. Oh, man. Games Cage swerving back and forth, hitting multiple people with that fire tornado. But I think Mr. Carrero pulling out the first place there.
It paid off. He held the monster truck, took the hit from King Boom Boo, and still was able to get his way back to the front where it was the difference maker. That's insane. Wow, dude.
Yeah, I really thought that he was going to be punished for the monster truck greed. I feel like there's a whole different world where that goes very differently.
Absolutely.
That to me is an example of like, I've played enough of this game where I know that situational awareness. I know for a fact I can recover from this. I have the build to make, to get the rings, to make up enough speed and get into a position where I can still get close enough where this can be the difference maker if a couple things go my way. They certainly went his way. He gets another first place. It's crazy. Carrero is insane.
Very much leading the pack right now, Emerald, and we're still early enough though where I feel like we can't lock him in for number 1 just yet.
No, absolutely not. There's plenty of races left to go, but I will say he was showing off a lot of discipline there by holding on to that monster truck. I think when you're holding a lot of racers, when you hold an item that's that good, you're kind of like, oh, I kind of want to burn this, maybe see if I can roll the dice and get a better item. But he had enough confidence in his driving abilities to be able to get back to where a position where he could use it on that last off-road section. So brilliant plays. I mean, it's anybody's race, or it's anybody's tournament right now, but Mr. Carrero showing off that he knows what he's doing for sure.
Oh, absolutely, man. Well said on that as well. We're moving right along to Colorful Mall. We'll see how this one pans out. But man, these have been some great races. Everybody just kind of like and this is no slight, of course, of our cruisers, but we get to the races, you just kind of feel like we've taken a little bit step up as far as like optimization goes, awareness, just clutch moments and things of that nature. And boy, I'll tell you, we're getting at the highest level right now between all of our competitors, especially those occupying those top 4 or 5 slots.
But yeah, it is a treat to watch these guys. They're snaking, taking perfect lines. I can really tell the amount of just sheer effort put into getting better at this game to prepare for this tournament. And we're seeing the Mr. Carrero kind of lining up for an off-road there, kind of keeping the boost switch to be able to pull into the lead by taking that shortcut right there. We're going to head into our next CrossWorld to see how things switch up, though. And it's Sky Road.
Oh, okay. Well, definitely not what you want to run into coming right out of that warp. But nonetheless, okay, here's Sakura. And a little quiet thus far. Could be an opportunity to make some waves right now in the second lap.
Sakura not opting for the more difficult kind of track there to go like follow that balloon. You can bounce on those balloons and kind of go that way. But honestly, really difficult to drive on. If you're in the lead, you might as well play it safe. Try to just opt for that consistency to not fly off the road. Speaking of which, this jump too can really switch things up with that. Oh, the slicer.
Ooh, slicer, very ill-timed, unfortunate repass though. We're gonna reap the benefits right there going into first on the third lap. The Games Cage right there trying to make a play as well.
Yeah, repass here. He's got 2 offensive items. Let's see if he opts to play aggressively. Looks like he wants to charge up that bomb for now.
Yep.
Because it is dangerous. It bounces around like a bowling ball against some gutters there. And he's managing to hit a couple people there. Yeah. Maintain the second place position. Fire Dragon looks like he got hit by that slicer.
Fire Dragon.
And really good position here with that boost wisp.
Yeah, Fire Dragon always seems to just be on the end of some really bad luck towards the end. The slime right again. Just remain stoic in the vision. Right, gonna get a pretty on at this one. It looks like, but it is Game Cage who was in that top 3 pulling ahead and getting another beautifully. Okay.
He got 11.
Yeah, this is what Games Cage needs to get that confidence back to be able to feel like he can win the tournament. The energy is flowing through him right now.
Oh yeah, has to be popping.
I'm at the beach.
At the shift as far as like some placements there too. Pooh Bear a little bit unusual. Tony, I believe in 3rd place. Big there. Arrow 11th place finish. So that's the lowest point total.
Oh, you're sitting next to my car. Oh, you're sitting next to it.
That is definitely huge and kind of gap a little bit that he has developed.
Games Cage, we were ready our eye on him into the grills, and this is
oh my god, dude.
What a finish. I need to follow to Emerald. You can't help but root for this guy and his entire when they bring this.
Let's keep focusing. Let's keep focusing. All right, let's keep focusing. Okay, we got this Games Cage Nation. Let's go. Don't let it get too hard. Let's go. Let's keep focusing. All our training we've done all week. All right. All right. This one's our enemy. This one is our enemy, but we can defeat it. This is the day we defeat Mystic Jungle as an enemy of the people. All right. Let's go. All right. No looking at chat anymore. Stay calm and focus. Lock in, Fidel. Remember, don't take any dumb paths if you don't have to. All right, I'm not going to take that alt path first because I'd rather get an item in the beginning. Not the best item, but you tried to magnet me. Oh, it still works? Oh, I guess because it's in the front of me, not the back. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Don't do anything you don't have to, Fidel. Except for this, because that's pretty cool. All right, save that for the grass. We know what to do. We've been down this road before, already know the story. Sing the song. Get your level 4s. Get a nice block over there. Get over here. Big grass. Take that. Mr. Kokoro, you're bothering me. Every time you're next to me, you're bothering me, bestie. I gotta get you out of my way. Sorry. Coral down. I'm being targeted. I gotta go. Game Z. Hey. Oh, wait, huge. No, not huge. Never mind. Okay, I gotta be careful. Lock in. I used the too early. I should have saved it.
All right, we are back, and back in first place is Mr. Carrero, definitely trying to avenge that 11th place finish he had in that previous game, Emerald. Definitely not something I'm sure he's accustomed to. Got the spike iron ball right now for a little bit of defense or maybe some shenanigans in case anybody's getting ahead of him or attempting to, not with the way he's kind of snaking along. And look at that, opting to go right for the boost to continue to build upon that lead rather than go for the items. This guy is locked in. Wouldn't be surprised if he tries to take some of these shortcut routes here either.
Yeah, if you're watching at home, he's just expertly showing the just how strong snaking is, and he's doing it like he's been doing it for years, man. He's looking fantastic here out on the track. He's charging the boosts like perfectly, getting the level 2s and level 3s where he needs. Got 2 items that he can use to defend himself coming up on the finish line here, but it looks like he's so far ahead that he's not gonna have to worry about anything, man. He's cruising across the finish line.
When you're racing like that, I struggle to believe even King Boom Boo could catch up on you the way he was cruising through. That was insane. You can definitely tell he took that 11th place finish in the last course to heart, because he definitely made up for that in spades. That was nuts.
Another strong finish. Yeah, absolutely insane. It makes me think, though, Emerald, I'm wondering, because you were just giving props for his snaking ability, are there any tips that you have for someone who is trying to get really good at that? And also maybe for those that don't know what it is, explain to the chat.
Yeah, sure. So snaking is just kind of building up those back and forth drifts. You see that mainly on the extreme gear. It can be done with other vehicles as well, but mainly on the extreme gear, just because it's the best for that. You want to be using the boost stat of that machine to the best of its abilities. The best way to practice that is the time trials mode that exists in the game. It's a great way to watch other really good players of the game show off the snaking ability. You can kind of see where they're the lines that they take, where it was the most opportune spots to be able to charge those drift meters. And you got to do a little bit of studying, but if you want to be as good as Mr. Carrero is out there, that's the kind of thing that you need to do. And I can definitely tell that he's been practicing that a lot.
Yeah, I mostly ask that selfishly, but I'm hoping somebody in chat also benefits from that, because that's what I've been trying to get really good at this past week. And I feel like, it can be high risk when you're leaning into that strategy and first learning it. But once you get a hold, dang, that can really put you ahead. And we saw it really pay off there, EE, in just the last round.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, look, you do so well in your qualifier. You're coming into the finale with something to prove. And like I said, you look at this lobby, you have multiple Twitch rivals champions among it. So there's no half step in here, bro. Everybody is going full throttle. And I think that's a great indication of that is what we've seen thus far. Now, somebody I'm a little surprised to see has underperformed a little bit right now is Grand Pooh Bear. Still, obviously, we're at the halfway mark, so still opportunities to get out of that 12th place finish. But yeah, this is a guy who I just know always just kind of brings it in. Right now, he is struggling a little bit, man. It ain't easy.
Yeah, it ain't easy. It's really, I mean, this game, once you're racing against people who are really good, once you're climbing those ranks, let's say online or something, you run into some really competent racers. You can definitely feel the skill gap in the sense of the people who put a lot of time into the game get rewarded very well.
100%.
So we'll see if he can catch back up. He's not completely out of it. There's still an opportunity to play around items maybe a little bit better and take some more higher placing finishes.
All right, well, we'll see if he can indeed get there. Right now, they'll focus right now on Lars in the 6th place position, getting some boost right there. Got the boost wisp as well. Holding on to that danger. We've seen Dangerous capture a 1st place finish as well today as well. Oh no, but gets flung off of the course. That is the unfortunate part sometimes when you are in a little bit of a bumping competition, if you will, with some people there on the edge. When you don't have any kind of thing to hold your balance, man, you just get flung off sometimes. It's tough.
Yeah, it's really difficult. Sometimes just a small tap can send you off. But honestly, I mean, he was basically locked in on Coney there, and it was really difficult for him to get away. Just bringing both of them off the side of the track. Getting hit by the weight is going to switch up some stuff here. We got Mr. Carrero with that monster truck again. I have a feeling he's going to maybe try to have a similar strategy to last time. Kind of hold on to it for as long as he can. We'll see.
Absolutely, especially kind of going through this really narrow portion of the course, which can definitely get you into a lot of trouble. But Carrero kind of in a really good spot, actually, to be fair. 4th place, going to slide into 3rd ever so slightly. He's got the monster truck at the ready. He's got the boost wisp too. A lot of good things can happen here. If he can get through, we are getting close to that final moments though, but kind of eats a little bit of damage. But notice he didn't panic unleash the monster truck just yet. Games Cage, can he bring this one home? He's got some challenges. Repez right there on his heels.
Yeah, burning that fire tornado, trying to get a little aggressive to take the placing, but we see Mr. Carrero's monster truck kind of paid off. And the boost was to avoid the slime. He's cruising across the finish line.
That was such good discipline, simply off the fact you're vying for position with Lars and CPK right there too, Games Cage in the mix, and instead of just opting on the final straightaway right there at the finish line to just go for the whisk boost, you hold it just in case something happens. And what was that something, Emerald? It was the slime action that he boosted through and just stole first place again. The awareness never ceases to amaze me. Jeez.
Rarely punished. Yeah, the fact, Emerald, that we saw the discipline in multiple races for Mr. Carrero to be able to use that monster truck effectively, it shows not just how strong this item is, but how strong it can be when utilized effectively, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, like, you know, again, like, especially like in a Podos, like where he had the monster truck kind of at the beginning of the first lap, there's that really tight hallway where it's like, oh, that's a great opportunity to be able to hit a bunch of the racers. But ultimately, what is that going to do for you in the moment when there's still a whole lap to play out? So I think it was a great idea to hold on to those items. I mean, he had the monster truck and the boost wisp at the end for defense. It was expertly played. Very well done.
And because of that, Mr. Carrero feeling pretty good about where he sits in the standings, I am sure. Multiple first place finishes as we hit the halfway mark of our racers category. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 8 races, have been won by your boy.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? He is definitely not just showing up. He is showing out right now. So kudos to him. Definitely, it's kind of cool, too, as we're at the halfway mark, our winner of the EU and our winner of the NA occupying those top 2 spots, Carrero and Games Cage. So that goes to show you right there, not fluky wins from them at all. They are top of the crop. But you still see some people down there with an opportunity. Dangers and Repass could definitely put something together, but they're going to have to put in some work immediately once we hit course number 9, because that gap is going to continue to widen if that consistency keeps up with those two.
Repaz, if I recall correctly, had a similar run in the EU qualifier where he wasn't the most seen in the races as far as getting first place finishes, but obviously still managed to qualify. And in this recent chunk that we just witnessed too, 2nd place here, a 4th place there, still managing to be competitive in the standings. So Emerald, we're seeing the top finishers in the top spots, but those that are managing that consistency as well.
Yeah, I mean, we see, like you said, Repaz. I think that's like exactly the name that I was actually thinking about when I saw those standings. I was like, oh, Repaz is he's coming back. He's doing well. Yeah. And I still think we see some of the other people kind of trailing behind too, like Fire Dragon. Fire Dragon's still there. He's still in it. It's anybody's competition, I guess, still. But that, I mean, the top section is definitely pulling away a little bit more. I'm kind of wondering what they're starting to think themselves as competitors, kind of like what the mindset is as far as like, should we change something up? Or, maybe again, we start seeing a little bit of a change of people getting more aggressive towards those top positions, kind of like we saw in the cruiser section.
Definitely.
The halfway point is a great time to check into your strategy and see how it's working out for you based on your position in the standings. When we return from this break, we will hop into the second half of our Racers category here for Sonic Racing CrossWorlds on Twitch Rivals. We'll see you there. Welcome back to Sonic Racing CrossWorlds on Twitch Rivals. Chat, it is time for our State Farm Good Neighbor Spotlight, where we put a bright light on someone special from today's event. Now, chat, earlier in the show, you selected Axial Matt as your good neighbor, so let's watch him shine.
I don't think anybody's going to disagree with this selection. I mean, this guy was an absolute stud from start to finish. And like I pointed out, Emerald did it all with finesse and consistency and got himself another huge win. This guy going back-to-back. Qualifier last week, grand finale. This one, come on.
Yeah, and he's expertly showing he knows how to drive. Using that monster truck to crush the last few people there to pull out that win. He just did a phenomenal job throughout the entire tournament. Here we are back at Coral Town. Let's see what he does here.
Yeah, and Dr. Feelgood was definitely somebody who was providing some good opposition as well, too. So, you know, like, I feel like a lot of these highlights are definitely going to be showcasing a lot of those clutch runs on the final lap. And that was one of the great ones, just finding that cut right there, having the bomb build up a little bit, chucking it behind just for a little safety and insurance. So he got somebody as well with that, securing another first place finish. This guy was just all over the place.
Yeah, and we see here another one here on Crystal Mine where he was expertly dodging that King Boom Boo. He knew he was going to have to avoid him and using the off-road there, just falling specifically onto it with the Wisp to pull ahead of everybody here, knocking out Chibi Doki on the way.
If you look at his camera there too, he surprised himself with that play as well, which makes it all the more better. Absolute stud and deserving champion of the Cruiser division.
Well, be sure to give Axial Matt a follow today. And remember, chat, State Farm is your good neighbor in gaming. And you can check out all that they're up to at statefarm.com/gaming. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. I don't think any of us are surprised, as you mentioned, to see Axial Matt here as our State Farm Good Neighbor Spotlight showcasee. Not just for winning, but the vibes he brought in both interviews.
Oh, yeah, just a fantastic individual. Couldn't be happier for him. And, you know, he said he has a couple of achievements. We got that one checked off. So whatever he has left to accomplish, I'm sure it will not be far behind.
It's always so cool when you can say you're a Twitch Rivals winner, too. Just feel like that's such a big brag on all of your friends. Anytime you get to play that game, it's like, what? Not me being a little jealous. You know, I get a little jealous sometimes after all these Twitch Rivals. Like, sometimes I'm like, it would be fun to compete in it. I know, Emerald, you've been more like you can do both, and we stole you for the casting this time. But are you feeling some of that itch?
I definitely am. Sitting in the chair, it's really fun. You know, I do like talking about this game a lot. I just love the game overall, but there's that competitive spirit that I have there. I'm just like, ooh, it'd be fun to be out there too. But I'm really happy to be on the mic with you guys. It's been really fun. I just like talking more about this game and sharing it with other people. So in any way that I can do that, I'm happy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We're happy to have you. I feel like we've learned so much, not just by watching the racers take through, but everything that everyone has brought to the broadcast, sharing in strategies and just plain old energy. But when it comes to our racers, halfway point now. Who are you keeping your eye on that's not your boy?
Well, you know what? Actually, funny enough, I am going to say Carrero and Games Cage simply off the fact of can they maintain this, right?
Not your boy, not your boy.
Okay, fine. Okay, we're not going to talk about them. Okay, well, somebody I am keeping an eye on.
I know how much you can talk about him.
Listen, I'm not glazing. I'm just keeping it real. Like, you can be in first and second, but can you stay there? Because you know the other racers are thinking like, okay, if they're going to put that point differential between us, do we have the ability to kind of lock in a little bit more and maybe take some shots in? That's what did in Dulicard. That did him in a little bit. I felt like in the Cruiser division, right? So it's, you get to the top, but can you stay there? I know people like Fire Dragon, Dangers, Coney, they are kind of lurking and chomping at the bit. Repass, all individuals you have to be aware are still capable of coming back and snatching up those top spots as well.
Yeah, we can see here on the side, actually, Bear commenting in about Mr. Carrero playing well, saving the items. I mean, hey, Bear, really an expert in this category of games and, was here earlier casting. he knows talent when he sees it. And Mr. Carrero, you know, he's showing out. It's going to be really hard to take him off the top there, but I definitely think things could switch up here. Like we said, the halfway point is a good way to like kind of switch up the strategy. So let's see what kind of changes the racers might have made during the break that might put them back in a favorable position.
Absolutely. I think for some of the racers who are kind of like maybe middle of the pack, bottom of the row, one thing would be good too is like take some of the risks on some of those shortcuts when they do present themselves, right? Because really in this position, all you're going to really, it's risk versus reward. And let me tell you something, you want the reward, just go ahead and take it and just try and reap the benefits. There's no reason to play it safe right now. You got to go for it when you're kind of middling in the pack right there, because you know for a fact, you see Carrera right here, Ye is in 12th right now, it's lap number 1. You know he's not finishing in 12th, okay? You got to be somebody who's putting the screws to him to make it a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, he's in a great position to get back to the front here with these items. There's a couple of really big shortcuts on Kronos Island here that we ended up for our CrossWorld. One of the off-roads being right here. Gonna opt to save them. I mean, that's fair. Want to save it for the lap 3. Also, you know, you don't, again, I think it's kind of wise sometimes to not be too ahead of the pack this early on in the race, just because you literally have the target on your back with all of those items that can lock on.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you got to worry about the items and you got to worry about the people who are distributing them as well, right? So there's a couple different things to keep in mind. But it looks like Carrero doing what we've seen him do a couple different times, which is find these shortcuts, increase the lead, and try and pull himself so far ahead that if he does get weighted, if he does get hit by King Boom Boo, it's not going to make that much of a difference. And he'll, of course, have his boost items in tow to kind of keep them afloat too. Now we are 3rd lap on the Wonder Museum, so you got to keep in mind too, it's a little bit different with those dinosaurs coming to life as well, but you can tell Carrero very much so locked and engaged.
Yeah, one of the interactions there that we saw, just there is actually Carrero, I don't know if he intentionally did it, but took a line to where the slicer was kind of homing onto him. And, well, it's going to come back to get him anyway, but it ran into the dinosaur instead of running into him. So he kind of like took a line to like make it so that that slicer didn't chase after him. But right now he has a lead that's so big that he's able to kind of like maintain it. But as I say that, people taking the off-road take advantage of that opportunity to pass him up with a boost wisp.
Yeah, being in that situation. Ooh, let's see. Hold on now. Okay, smart. Whips that a little bit.
Dude.
Dangers. Coming up a little bit short. And Fire Dragon popping off.
Talking about?
How many times have we seen Fire Dragon be right there towards the front and then just get skunked a little bit and end up, unfortunately, finishing in like an 8th or a 9th place spot? That time, though, brought it home and got a much-deserved W. Excellent stuff.
That's why at the halfway point, Emerald, we can't count anyone out because Fire Dragon keeping himself in enough to make this first place really mean something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Fire Dragon, that's the guy. I'm telling you guys, you got to watch out. He could definitely switch things up. I mean, he's really good at racing games. I've seen him just tearing it up, getting ready for this competition. I think that as long as he kind of keeps a level head, stays confident, he could definitely pull himself out of the middle range here up into those upper positions. And we saw it there with that first place finish.
And Fire Dragon is one of our double-digit Twitch Rivals participants. 10 entered in total, is a Twitch Rivals champion, but has multiple podium finishes, a couple of thirds, a second. So that general experience translating very well.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And one thing, too, they're going to understand is like, it's not over. The race is not over. We're at the halfway mark, not the finish line. So understanding there's still plenty more races to take advantage of. And all sometimes you need to see is that first place or podium level placement to kind of like up that confidence. Like, okay, what I'm doing is correct. It is working out. Yes, there's some variables I can't control, but what I can control is going to be good enough to get me over the finish line in an appropriate situation or position. And that was perfect right there for Fire Dragon. Expecting to see a little bit of a turnaround and a turn up from him as we're heading into course number 10.
And we're starting here on Crystal Mine. This is another one of those tracks, again, where it's like that big shortcut. It's a real risk, but it can pay off huge for somebody who might be kind of in the middle of the pack here. So let's see how it plays a role in this race. We're starting out with Fi here. He's kind of starting near the back, but I can't count him out. Yeah, this is a great opportunity to get rings, get items, kind of bide your time, play a little bit more safely.
Yeah, that's one of the things I've noticed that like while I've been like commentating, I'm always like glancing over to that right side, seeing like what your ring count is at, right? Because we understand just how important it is, just especially in being able to kind of get that extra little bit to pull ahead when you really need it. Speaking of which, Games Cage found a nice little route there to get first place, little off-roading, paying off. He's duking it out right now and boosting his way to the top. Let's go.
Yeah, one of the benefits of being in the front there is you kind of get to decide what CrossWorld you want to go to. You could definitely pick something that kind of suits your build a little bit better. Yes. And actually, for Mr. Sakor here, this is a great place because we're on a water section here. With Air Trick Expert and Bounty, you can get those rings up really quickly if you need to in a pinch.
There you go. Repaz right now on first, but not going to last too long as he gets spun out. However, he is on a boost pad, so that's going to help out with the recovery. Not going to take too much of a deterrent.
Yeah, that's great awareness. I mean, if you know that you're going to get hit by an item, but you're kind of near like something that speeds you up, like a ring or like a dash pad, it's honestly worth it to just hit the brakes, slow down so that you're right before it, so that way you can quickly drive over it and get back into the race.
That continues to be one of the things I struggle with, Emerald, is knowing when to take my foot off the gas. I'm in a lot of situations. That is definitely what I'm fighting against sometimes, but obviously a lot of these drivers here expert at that navigation and knowing when it is time to press the gas, when it's time to hold back a little bit too. Grand Pooh Bear, nice, getting himself up to 6th place, but only momentarily, fighting for, just a position right here. Carrero, unfamiliar territory, all the way back here in 12th. Does have some items to make up the difference, but will it be enough to get him in a position where it's going to even matter?
Yeah, he's got triple boostos here. If he opts for this off-road, he could get a little bit more of a positioning advantage. The King Boom Boo going off, but it might not be quick enough. We'll see. That slime is going to slow the pack down, hitting like 5 people there. Games Cage, it looks like, was able to pull out the win, though.
I was going to say, that was a little bit of an ugly finish, but that is fantastic for Games Cage because you see where he placed and where Carrero placed it, with those two butting at each other by 17 points separated between first and second. That's huge for Game Cage. Big 15 points he just accumulated.
Yeah, that was a sloppy slime. Got so many people in it there in the end, but not enough to slow down, our number one from his own qualifier, Games Cage, coming through. I do want to bring it back a little bit to some that are in that basically below Kororo and Games Cage category. We've got Dangers, Fire Dragon, and Repaz that are in a cluster, and then after that it's Lars, Sakor, CPK, and Scootish that are in their own cluster. Emerald, of those 3, Dangers, Fire Dragon, and Repaz, if we were to lock in the top 2 and you had to pick one of those 3 to get third, who would it be? Just a hypothetical.
Oh, that's tough. That is really tough because I feel like my bias kind of sneaks through a little bit there because, I've just, Fire Dragon was like one of the people that honestly got me into like streaming and speedrunning and stuff. So I gotta root for my boy. He's always been quite the competitor. I feel like, and as you said, he's participated in a lot of Twitch rivals. He's no stranger to the kind of competitive mindset you need for this type of competition. So I could definitely see him swinging back into the higher positions later on.
And I think it's fair to say, as we're going into race 11, yes, there's a lot that can happen to shift that top of the standings. But EE, I feel like you also would have to rely on Mr. Carrero and Games Cage having some bad races here in the end.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and that's kind of what we, to our point where we mentioned the fact that, like, yeah, these guys should probably be on a little bit of your hit list as far as like who we want to target and make sure they don't get those optimal placements, right? You want to control whatever point totals they're going to have accumulating going forward because they've already developed such a strong lead. I mean, they're both in triple digits, right? The next closest person is still 14 points away just to get the triple digits, that being dangerous. So definitely keep a watchful eye on them and try and change up a little bit of that status quo with these placings and see how it goes. My boy Coney right here, trying to make a little bit of a difference. He's down there in 10th. I know Mr. Beats Games can definitely beat that placement of 10th. So I think Coney is definitely somebody I would say is 10th is where he's at right now, not where he's going to finish when it's all said and done. Very good.
Yeah, Coney for sure definitely got a great competitive mindset. I could definitely see him climbing up. we're here on our CrossWorld here for East Stadium. Scrabby kind of letting go of that Drill Wisp here to get back kind of near the rest of the pack, maybe get a little bit aggressive. And, you know, that's honestly what I'm kind of looking for now is definitely, again, that change of strategy for people being a little bit more aggressive on the track, making sure that they're going after those games cages and Mr. Carreros, because, you know, you just want to make sure that they're in those lower spots. You want to get as far ahead of them as you possibly can.
Absolutely. Here we go. Fire Dragon. Somebody we were looking to pick it up. Oh, gets hit by the Fire Tornado. Unfortunate, but still not enough to really deter anything. Just fine right here in 7th place. Not the worst spot to be in going into the 3rd lap. Again, it's that 1st place that has to be a little bit careful. Carrero, yet again, find himself towards the back of the pack. So he is definitely finding out it ain't as easy. It's easy to get to the top maybe, but it ain't as hard to stay there. With people gunning for you like this might be the 2nd race in a row. Some danger hits, and he is really holding on to that drill. Find little ops to just pop it, taking himself to 8th place right now.
Yeah, definitely had to make the decision to let it go there, because if you didn't use it there, you were going to lose it. That slime was about to hit him, and that makes you notably lose your items.
Yes.
Getting a monster truck roll here, though, being able to kind of get closer to the front here, not being able to get to the front of the pack, but still being able to salvage a lot of points there on that finish.
Yeah. Look at Scootish. Go ahead, Scootish. You heard that one, my boy. Pop off. Let him know. Scootish getting his first dub of the day. And you can tell the excitement is certainly there. My goodness. Yes!
Yeah, he's definitely feeling a lot better after getting that finish there. We saw in the qualifiers, he ended up winning, I believe, the last race and had like a pop off of similar proportions and kind of dumping the water on himself in celebration there. You know, we still got some races to go, so I don't think he's trying to do all that quite yet, but I'm definitely thinking he's feeling a lot better as far as his positioning goes.
I do like that we get the chance to see multiple people get some kind of first place, though. We saw Chibidoki's reaction during the cruisers category of getting to walk away with the win. I mean, Corgi Cam also, same thing. Even if you don't win overall, it still feels really good, EE, even if you win just one of the races.
Oh, 100% for sure. Because you understand the field of competition that you're in is just so talented. It's just like, okay, if I can scrounge together even one win, I'm really feeling myself. That's an accomplishment in and of itself. Let me know. Yeah, I'm here for a reason. I can definitely hang with these guys. But Scootish make it 2, though. 2 would definitely help. I think Scootish was up there around like the 8th or 9th position. Definitely another win will boost you even further. You know, you want to keep up in that position to, at the very least, up that payday, baby. That's what it's about right now. Heading to course 12. Focused on the man of the hour right there, Scootish. And I like the confidence, too. Winners POV Twitch rivals. Hi, mom. Hi, dad. It's a good son. It's a good son.
Good son indeed. And, you know, he's going to try his best here to get back to the front of the pack, starting in the back, but that's fine. Again, not too bad for the first lap. You just want to take your time, build up the resources that you need in order to get to the front of the pack. And that's kind of the strategy that I would recommend, especially some of the racers that might have less points right now, kind of implement to just try to make sure that they guarantee some higher placings with some stronger items near the end of the race.
Absolutely agreed. All right, well, let's see how this is going to pan out right now. I like the fact that we're keeping focused on Scootish. Entertaining. You can see how locked in he is, too, man. I don't even think he's blinked since the race has started. So
yeah, you can tell how bad he wants it, man.
Yeah, 100%. Got the boost whiffs. Nice. Little shortcut right there. And then the NATO tried to probably clip Dangers, but Dangers actually getting just out of the danger zone on that one.
Yeah, expertly dodging that. And getting hit with that fire tornado is detrimental, especially when you're at 100 rings. It actually hits you down 250 rings, so it's gonna knock out a lot of your top speed there. I'm sorry, but being able to avoid it's really good. Fire Dragon here has his sights locked on. He got hit, so he's kind of feeling a little aggressive. I'd feel a little bit petty too had I just gotten hit. I'm coming up to an item set. I'm hitting you back. Let me get another item.
Hey, Scootish.
Another one of those things. So Scootish is in first place right now. Scrappy just barely passing Games Cage. Oh, he's holding on to that iron ball. He's not letting it rip just yet. Oh, okay, dropped it back there. He actually catches Lars in the crossfire. Unfortunate for Lars. Gonna take a bad beat on that one. Lap number 3, Games Cage. What do we got here? Wisp Boost and Fire Tornado. Not a bad item selection here for this final lap at all.
Yeah, showcasing the knowledge there, taking that warp ring on the left side. That is the fastest route for this track for this section leading into the final stretch here. We got Scrappy in the front with a defensive item as well as a spike ball. Maybe he could manage to pull this out, but Gamescage is hot on his tail with a boost wisp in hand and a fire tornado trying to hit him. But Scrappy got hit by something else, I believe.
Oh no! Just barely. Hold on. He's like, hold on. I think he just barely skirted over there. I think he just barely skirted. Yep, he knows. He knows.
The characters give different lines, like victory lines, based on their placing. So I think Gamescage heard the silver line there and it started to pop off because he knew that he had locked in that first place.
Woo! Gamescage, clutch master yet again. Great stuff.
I was thinking for a second there, though, we were going to see a Scrappy victory. We haven't got to talk about Scrappy at all today, but not quite enough to finish it out there.
Yeah, I feel like every time we've seen Scrappy, they've been actually performing pretty well, just not able to quite close it out yet. And, you still have a couple of races left, so that time could be coming to really just nail one home, get a first place finish. But, respect to Scrappy continuing to stay in the mix for sure.
That being said, even with the big targets that are on the backs of Mr. Kororo and Gamescage, still standing strong. If we look at the standings, not much shifting in these chunks that we were talking about. First and second being held by Mr. Kororo and Gamescage. Currently, we've got Dangers pulling a little more ahead of that Dangers, Fire Dragon, and Repaz kind of middle ground. And then Lars, Scootish, and Sakor all pulling through for that middle bottom-ish chunk. But Emerald, we don't have that many races left. As we get here into course number 12, or actually getting into 13, I believe.
Yeah, it's definitely getting tough to be able to see yourself kind of maybe taking that first place spot, maybe even second place spot. But, I at least think that there is an opportunity for the people that are kind of just behind those top two to be able to maybe make sure that those top two finish in like a last place position to give themselves an opportunity to boost themselves up, maybe get a first place finish with 15 points. Now it's still, it's still kind of far away, but it's still an opportunity to place higher than you currently are. And that's what I think a lot of the racers kind of in the lower middle to lower of the pack are like, they're trying to look for that right now.
Yeah, one thing I'm definitely realizing here is, as far as like, okay, target on your back, let's make sure these guys don't get a top place. And easier said than done, okay? Some of these guys aren't necessarily giving you a choice in the matter. So the fact that we have our first and second separated by just 1 point, a testament to how hard Gamescage is really stringing together some of those W's. 128 to Carrero's 129. So still, it's anybody's game, but these last couple of courses are really going to be the difference maker. Still an opportunity for somebody to sneak up there for sure, but they are going to have to rally and go incredibly ham to make it happen right now. Now, the pumpkin patch stage, a little bit of trickery right there, but if you just know what to look for, that disappearing pumpkin, you'll be all right. Keep those lines and those routes in focus, and not too many issues.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the more difficult tracks in the game. Hitting these turns, especially kind of in this last section here, Mr. Carrero getting kind of pushed off into the off-road just by being kind of near the edge of the track. I mean, that's just a common thing that can happen. So you got to be really, really careful about your lines. And we see Dangers here kind of grabbing a lead here for this final lap.
Yeah, we did see Dangers, in that third place position. Yeah, quite a bit of a point differential, but a first place would definitely go a long way in helping secure breaking into that. Okay, gonna take the big hit, but right there on the boost, I think put the foot on the gas or brake a little bit to make sure you be able to recover with the boost and maintain still a top position here.
Getting the double item set, and so is Gamescage in 6th place. Getting the boost twist, that'll be good for the off-road. Oh, Mr. Carrero kind of in the back of the pack. I think it's actually going to be really difficult for him to get a really good placing here, even with all these boost whips and the shortcut.
Yeah, Carrero just unfortunate placement, and that is not what he needed at all. But it looks like Fire Dragon putting another W together, finishing with full 100 rings. And yes, there it is, that first place. Brilliantly played.
And both Fire Dragon and Dangers placing really well, while Gamescage and Mr. Carrero kind of placing a little bit lower there. Definitely not giving it to him for free.
Yeah, for sure. And with that finish, actually, with Carrero placing so low and Gamescage actually kind of finished in the middle, we do have a new first place. Gamescage is going to go up by a couple of points over Carrero now, taking the lead.
Our qualifier champions are going so hard in that number 1 and number 2 spot. It's actually insane. But we do have to also point out the fact that Dangers is starting to put a little more distance between himself and Fire Dragon and Repaz. And it's still hard to tell exactly, Emerald, who is going to come out with the podium finish, because just those little chipping away in these last races are making such a difference.
Yeah, and I mean, even there, they finished right next to each other. Fire Dragon getting the win, Dangers in second place. So, I mean, they're keeping it close. I mean, it's definitely it's scary out there, man. It's scary out there, I think, for the rest of the racers too, with Mr. Dangers and Mr. Carrero just expertly driving the courses, using their items really well. Yeah, I'd be scared out there on the track too. I can't lie.
Because of how good those two racers are, even without having those top finishes in that last race, hey, at least managed to avoid those bottom few finishes, you know, in 11th or 12th place or so. Yeah. But a little uncharacteristic for Mr. Kororo to finish towards the bottom, but also not expected when looking at 16 races in total.
Yeah, I mean, well, he had a bad race, like a couple races back too there, even after like the really hot start. So I think that might just be his like second like double digit finish, if I'm not mistaken. So it does happen. The problem with that happening is you got Games Cage, who's being consistent, not only getting wins, but not taking anything less than accumulating 7 or 8 points. And that is kind of why you see that little bit of a swing right now as far as the placings go. So Game Cage, whew, I got to give it up. Consistency is the key and just keeps on turning and opening the lock. It is great stuff thus far.
I do feel like because of those performances, as we go into the final 3 races, Emerald, this feels like something where we're not going to have an idea of who our grand champion of the racers category is until the end of race 16.
Yeah, and I think that makes it so much more exciting. It's really like kind of how it feels to be in that last stretch there in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, where you just don't know what's going to happen. And I think we can see that, you know, with a lot of the racers popping off, like Scootish, for example. I mean, that energy is just amplified in a competitive scenario like this. And I'm really, really excited to see what happens next.
There's no denying that, you know, that adrenaline rush from a good finish can really sharpen your focus in the coming rounds. But have you ever experienced the opposite, where you get a little too hypey from some races and then maybe lose a little control after that?
Yeah, I guess it kind of just depends, right? Because like once you actually do see yourself get like a first place finish, it feels really good. So you're just like, okay, like I've done that right there. I feel like I should be able to do it again. But at the same time, like the nerves build up a little bit. Like, look, can I do it again? You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of races that we're saying that we obviously know they can do it. They've got multiple first places throughout our first 13 or 14 courses already. So they are suited and they are built for this job, no doubt about that. But can they bring it home? If you're Mr. Carrero or you're Games Cage, you're thinking, okay, I'm at the top of the pack. I want to stay there. I want to see a little bit of a shake. I want to see if Dangers can not only just keep the distance between Fire Dragon, but maybe even threaten that second place, whomever it may end up being between Carrero and Games Cage.
Yeah, and we'll see. This is definitely a track to make some different things happen. This being, as I mentioned before, one of the more difficult tracks I would say to race on, especially with this these ice physics here at the beginning. But we see Mr. Carrero kind of expertly taking these turns. Oh, kind of getting bumped there.
Yeah,
but you know, driving really well before that. And that just shows you, I mean, hey, even sometimes going out of your way to maybe bump a player, like I'm not seeing too many usage of like power characters or anything like that. But if somebody was, then that would be a really good strategy to implement, just kind of bullying your competitors off the road.
Oh, absolutely. Especially like in some like questionable terrain like we're seeing right here. So definitely some opportunities right now. But it seems like the majority of people are looking to kind of keep it a little bit cordial, if you will, which I don't blame. Not going to go for that grassy little shortcut right there. Just going to hold on to the boost whisk. But Scrappy right now, we've talked about Scrappy and how they have yet to accumulate a first place finish in 11th place right now. I feel like Scrappy has done a good job staying in the mix, just hasn't put it together in those closing moments. Sometimes lap 3, Emerald, can be a pressure. I feel like that's kind of been the story of Scrappy.
Yeah, I mean, you could even see there, Scrappy was driving like really well, like chaining those boosts from the drifts together. It's just, you know, anything can really happen here at the end. And sometimes you might get unlucky. You might get hit by something that makes you lose your items, or maybe you don't roll the items that you need for the final stretch. Anything could happen, man. And we have Grand Pooh Bear here. Grand Pooh Bear here in the front. He's got his boost wisp and his spike ball. Fire Dragon kind of taking it here at this loop with a good defensive item, and this is exactly what you want. He's going to try to hold on to this for as long as he can, I imagine, unless he gets targeted by something specific like this. Yeah, don't want to get hit by that slime there. Even though he didn't have any items to lose other than the shield, it slows you down quite a lot, and so you definitely want to avoid that as much as possible.
Yeah, just the fact that you're in such a comfortable position with this first place right now too, and this is really good. So we got the homing rocket right there as well, and the fire tornado, which is going to work great for offense and defense. So that's actually good. We could tune back in to Fire Dragon and maybe see another first place finish.
Okay, sure.
Like I said, I want to see this third and fourth shake things up a little bit. Games Cage in seventh. You don't want to be that far back, but you're not as far back as Carrera was momentarily ago. Everybody vying for position. Got 3 boost whips to do something with. See when he lets to let him rip.
Yeah, coming up here is a really great off-road to be able to use these boost whips. We have Fire Dragon and Danger's here near the front.
Nice. Ooh, that's huge.
Yeah, Danger's having the Dark Chow to be able to block, or the shield to be able to block the Dark Chow. That looked like a really close finish. I don't know who's going to close it out.
I feel like Danger's definitely took it. I feel like that's the jet pose I see that's synonymous with winning. Let's see if I'm correct. Yeah, there it is.
Correct.
Danger's
He seals out the win.
done.
Massive, dude.
Nick Carrero nearly ages out Games Cage and Fire Dragon in second place. Okay, we're seeing some shifts. Nothing guaranteed. Great stuff thus far.
Seems like some of the racers have definitely caught their wind here in the final races. The fact that Dangers and Fire Dragon were in the first and second place finishing position, while also being ones that could maybe threaten that second place. That's what you're hoping for? Some kind of shakeup?
I would love to see it. I think we have 2 courses left to go, so anything is definitely possible. You're seeing Games Cage and Carrera. They're not necessarily accumulating the wins, you know what I'm saying? So their point total still rising, but not as much as it was. So I don't know. I mean, Danger's, you know what I'm saying? Danger's getting first, Fire Dragon getting first, second. Like, it's still possible. The math be mathing.
And it does make sense with the various conditions we have seen across these races. Emerald, you were just talking about the impact of ice, for instance. So perhaps those that are more comfortable in that scenario were doing better in that race than others.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, even somebody like me who, like I said, I have a lot of hours in this game, there are still tracks that I feel uncomfortable with, you know, and I think that we kind of can definitely see that with the other competitors here. It all kind of just depends on where you spend your time. And I mean, if you're kind of going for the more like general approach of just like, I want to be decent at every track. Maybe you just play a lot of online, get used to competing against other people, or maybe you just want to shine a little bit brighter with your driving ability. And I think that you'll see that from like the people practicing like the last track in time trials and stuff like that, and then they'll be able to like kind of stun on the rest of the competition by driving really well on those tracks.
All right, well, here we go. Second to last of our races for the day.
Nice.
And let me tell you something. If you have been nervous, if you've been in the fray thus far, this is where you really need to put it together and just come up with some sort of big time win, bro. Because like nobody is making it easy on anyone from what I can see thus far. Games Cage. All the way, not all the way, towards the back of the line. But that's okay. We're still very much so early into this thing. Look who is in front right there, Emerald. It is Lars. Lars has had a quiet day, but still has maintained a 5th place placement. So really good stuff from Lars. Despite not being that featured or making that many waves, has been consistent enough where it's still causing some problems.
Yeah, he's still proving that he's like a really great competitor, staying in that middle of the pack. Like, you know, as you said, not getting any like maybe top 3 finishes, but really like just being so consistently kind of trailing behind those racers. We're entering here into White Cave. Again, this is one of those CrossWorlds that's a really difficult one to drive in, can switch things up in an instant. Lots of obstacles, lots of varying levels here that you're going to have to navigate. Getting hit here, especially at this section coming up, while leaving this tunnel is really bad. And as you can see, Sakura getting a little scared of that King Bungu. I don't blame him. And now this is exactly what I'm talking about. Getting caught in that section is so tragic. It can be really it's a bad it's bad for the mental, you know. You start getting hit off a lot, and then it's like, oh my gosh, can I still win this race? It's like near the end of lap 2.
It'll easily frustrate you for sure, but it you know, to your point, it is lap 2, right? There is still some wiggle room, but yeah, that'll take it out of you right now. Carrero doing a good job coming through.
On Fire Dragon's tail.
Yeah, Fire Dragon. Okay, Fire Dragon is in first place right now. So Fire Dragon, who has strung together some really impressive victories thus far, understands job ain't done yet. We still get it done. Games Cage, this could be huge. So, you know, we're kind of thinking, right, like because of how first and second are separated, if Carrero finishes pretty high and Games Cage finishes pretty low, we could see a swap in first and second heading into that final course, but we're not there just yet. Right now, the only first place I'm looking at is my man Fire Dragon, who is crushing it.
Yeah, he's crushing it right now, and this is definitely a course where it's really difficult, I would say, to pull in front of the pack here. There's an off-road shortcut here to the right, as we can see, but it doesn't really do that much distance. But as I say that, Mr. Carrero is actually able to take advantage of Fire Dragon getting hit there, pulling into first place. Proving me wrong, and you know what? It's a good sight to see, I gotta say.
I'm saying, well, I mean, when you needed it most, you get that first place. Now let's see where Games Cage finished.
Segundo, tío, no para.
Games Cage said, we're not shifting just yet. Oh my Lord. How did Games Cage, maybe Games Cage actually is the one who hit Fire Dragon and it was able to take position and get a second place finish. Because Games Cage, when last saw, was like in that 6th or 5th position. So we know it was definitely doable to make up the gap. Wow, holy clutch by both of those two.
Our qualifier winners do not want to give up their chance to be the overall grand final winner for our racers category today. Oh my goodness. Can we real quick though, EE pour one out for Sakor getting caught on that one spot and double fall off the map?
It's tough, but you know, that's just hazards of the course. You know, sometimes it could happen to anyone. Unfortunately, it just happened to you.
We've all been there. But I do want to bring it back to our top two currently as we look at the standings. Mr. Kororo and Games Cage flip-flopping in the 1 and 2 spot. 1 point difference between them. Oh my goodness. Emerald there, keeping it close.
Oh yeah, and this going into this last race, the placing of where you finish here is going to matter so much. So much. So this is where like those really small interactions are going to play a big role. You really need to keep that. You need to keep in front of Mr. Carrero if you're Games Cage or vice versa. You know, it's looking really tough. It's looking really close.
Yeah, that battle for first and second is really exciting for sure. But I want to swing down to third and fourth as well, as Dangers and Fire Dragon only separated by 7 points right now too. So that is still up for grabs as well at third and fourth place. So got to keep that in mind. There's a lot on the line for Course 16. Titles, placements, money. Who's going to take it all?
Monster Truck no sirve. Sí, también sirve. Monster Truck no.
I'm kind of curious to see where the last track, where we're going to end up, because it could be the thing that really decides our fate here. Because again, you know, it's just a matter of like comfortability with some of the tracks. I mean, the game has only been out for about a week, so you know it's kind of tough to like get enough time to practice on every single course. So you might end up rolling the dice to where, you know, Mr. Carrero might get a track that he's more comfortable with than Games Cage. We'll have to see.
Puedo matar a gente, ¿sabes? Imagínate que lo veo por ahí al Game Cage y voy a por él directamente con el coche. Si lo aplasto con el coche, ganó. Porque es casi
Racers
imposible
at the ready. My goodness, you can't ask for a better, you know, finale, a better climax to what's been an incredible showcase from our racers here for their finale. I am very much so looking forward to see who's going to take this one down.
Yeah, and we're going into Chow Park where anything can happen. This is, in my opinion, one of the more hectic tracks in the game, just because everybody's so close quarters makes it so that there can be a lot of lead changes that could happen with different aggressive items and such. So let's see how it all plays out for the final race.
All right, let's go. Whipping right over to Games Cage. He's going to be our first person we focus on right now. A lot on the line, as well as that man to the left of him, that being Mr. Carrero. These two have been outstanding. One of them is going to take home the grand prize of first place. Who is it going to be? Nothing really standing out right out the gate. Everybody kind of taking their time, playing it slow. No real impact items just yet. It's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, I feel like at the beginning of the like Chow Park, it's really hard to pull away and get like a massive lead. There isn't like a lot of like shortcuts here, and that's what I mean by it's so hectic. The pack stays so close together And we're going to see where we're going to end up for our CrossWorld for lap 2. It is Donpa Factory. Now, Donpa Factory is another track where you're really rewarded for knowing how to drive through the shortcuts here. There's one big kind of like circle section that's coming up that if you know to take that shortcut, you can cut it pretty early and skip driving all the way around it. It can give you a really good positional lead. And you don't even really need a boost item to use it. So let's see how these racers react to it.
Yeah, would love to see if someone's just kind of brave enough to pull the trigger on that, like understanding, like, yeah, if I put myself in first, I'm going to be susceptible to some items, but I give myself enough of a lead, I can definitely bounce back. That's kind of the name of the game right now.
Yeah, we see Mr. Carrero not doing that, but he's not using the shortcut, but he is taking the items because there is an item set that you miss out on if you don't take that shortcut. So opting to get an item for a better position. And he's looking really good here in first place with these 2 items.
Super solid. We've seen a couple of the races that he's actually won throughout this too, beat by a pretty considerable margin just because he could kind of pull ahead so much where it doesn't really matter if he does get hit by any of those disruptive items like the king, boom, boo, like the weights, anything like that. But Games Cage, title on the line. You guys are only separated by 1 point in those standings. You've got to get that placement up a little higher because when last we checked, he was in first place and pulling ahead.
Yeah, and he's got a really good item to try to get back into the fray of things, but Mr. Carrero's pulling ahead by a lot, kind of steamrolling himself forward here.
Showing up when he needs to the most. And let me tell you something, it's looking like a first place is guaranteed on that one. Nobody even in the vicinity as Carrero pops off and shows up when he needed to most. But hold, Games Cage, we've seen him sneak up and catch a second place finish every now and then too. Will it be the case right now, Emerald?
I'm thinking, oh, not quite. Oh, so unlucky. Anything can happen here in Chow Park. Again, we don't know. He might have got hit with some items. Maybe didn't get the item he quite needed to be able to pull back to the front of the pack. Things just can happen like that in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds.
It's tough.
Shell Park ain't no joke. I had flashbacks as soon as that came up on our screen. But all right, guys, we're going to take our last break here for Sonic Racing CrossWorlds Grand Finals on Twitch Rivals. On the other side, we will crown our champion of the Racers category. See you there.
To find your way, sometimes you have to pave it yourself. That's why the CRV Trail Sport Hybrid has features like all-terrain tires and available enhanced traction control. Introducing the most capable CRV we've ever dreamed up, the 2026 CRV Trail Sport Hybrid, now part of the Honda Trail Sport lineup.
welcome back to the Sonic Racing CrossWorlds Grand Finals on Twitch Rivals. Chat, we make tons of memories every year on Twitch Rivals between our streamers, gameplay, and even sometimes us as talent. Now, with the help of Intel, we are celebrating the best ones with Intel's core memories. Every single show, we are selecting the defining moment of the day to be forever immortalized in our core memories yearbook. Here is today's Intel core memory.
Got Mr. Carrero here, I think, at the last section of one of these races with the monster truck pulling ahead of everybody.
I think this might have been the one where he like elected to save all of his items out there. And then, yeah, saving the boosty for the slime, because he didn't just elect to just let it rip. He was just like, just in case something happens, I'm gonna be prepared. And he sure enough was.
This is your Intel core memory for the Sonic Racing CrossWorlds Grand Finals on Twitch Rivals. We'll reveal the full core memories yearbook later on this year alongside a bracket style contest for Intel core memory of 2025. Now, Intel's core memory processors allow gamers to stream, create, and compete at the highest level. Gaming happens with Intel. We saw a lot of gaming today. Many races. 32 races to be exact between our cruisers category earlier and our racers here today. It was so close in the end. I'm sure you and Emerald are ready to find out who our champion is, determined by race number 16. Our champion is Mr. Kororo 10, followed by Games Cage in second place, and Dangers pulling it out for the number 3 spot. Emerald, we were tracking probably those top 4 or so to see how things would shake out, and everyone kept it tight there in the end.
Yeah, they played really consistently. Of course, that last race was just, it was anybody's victory there between Mr. Kororo and Games Cage. That literally, it was just one position difference. Like, they really had to like put out their everything that they've learned over the course of the competition and try to pull out the win. And Mr. Kororo was just able to do it in the last second. I'm sure very stressful, but you gotta celebrate the victory. GG.
It's something to be said about finishing or opening the race in first and then finishing in first too, along with the championship. That right there is consistency and just great gaming prowess. Mr. Carrero, multiple time Twitch Rivals champion and other titles, and now adds another one to that already impressive collection. I gotta give it up. That's my guy, one of my favorite people to watch in any Twitch Rivals competition. So I'm happy for him. And Games Cage, I thought, did an outstanding job as well, getting second place and being very entertaining en route to that as well.
We had a lot of good racers today. And let's go ahead and hear from Mr. Kororo, our champion of the Racers division, also our champion of his respective qualifier. Mr. Kororo, welcome back. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm very happy.
Yes, you played so well today. Can you tell me how you've been preparing since your qualifier for today's grand final?
Yeah, I'm tryharding the game for the last days, 6-7 hours all the days, and Game Cage is so good. I'm present. Yeah.
Was there, obviously, I knew the whole time you were probably going to win. Just throwing it out there. But was there any moment when you were playing that you were a little worried that you weren't going to be able to bring it home, or did you think on that last race you could do enough to win the whole thing?
I listened in the last tournament. In the winner has a trophy. And my mind, it's only, ¿cómo se dice? Sorry, I'm very nervous.
You're fine.
Only goes for the trophy.
Yes, okay, nice. Well, you got it. Good job.
Yeah, I mean, I know if I was in that position, I'd be wanting that trophy too, man. So I completely understand that. So you said you've been preparing for the last week, playing just like hours and hours a day. Did you feel like you had to go through a few different like gadget sets or game plans when you were kind of going into this competition, or did you kind of just use one the entire time leading up?
I played with all the gadgets I trained these days, and yes, I don't change nothing, and I play with the same gadgets. Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with using a strategy that you feel comfortable with and you know is going to work, especially since you were so successful in the last qualifier. So good stuff.
Yeah, thank you.
Mr. Kororo, do you know where you're going to put the trophy that Sega's making?
I think here, I have 2 trophies more, 2 more trophies.
Look at this guy. Look at him.
Building a collection.
Yeah, let's go. Show off, King. Show off. All right. Well, Mr. Kororo, congratulations again. Any last shout outs before I let you go?
Yeah, only thing, tell for Game Kids it's so good, and I'm very happy to compete with him.
Oh, yes, we will pass along the message for you. Thank you, Mr. Kororo. Congrats. Enjoy your celebration.
Bye.
Such a nice guy. Yeah, he took so much of his interview to give props to Game Cage. You know, Emerald, are you going to pass along the message to Games Cage for us?
I absolutely could,
Mr. Kororo?
Yeah, I'm sure Games Cage right now, he put on a great performance as well. I think he was really keeping it neck and neck. And I mean, going into that last race, again, it was 1 point difference. So I really think that's just a testament to just like how good of a competitor Games Cage was as well. And also a testament as to why Mr. Kororo was like feeling so stressed kind of in that last little bit of the races. So
definitely.
Yeah. Well, this was a 3-day event. What a beautiful event it has been. Last thoughts from you as we finish up our grand finals.
Well, my last thoughts is I got a lot of work to do when it comes to playing Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, okay? I got a lot more gadgets to experiment. I'm going to take advantage of those time trials as well to get my speed up. Really love this game. I want to see more competitions for it, and I can't wait to be more involved because this is really a great game that I think has a lot of staying power. So W Twitch Rivals for giving it the spotlight it deserved.
Truly, truly. And Emerald?
Oh, I'm going to be playing this game a lot more. I already was playing it a lot, but, you know, if there's ever any more competitions that might come out, you know, maybe another Twitch Rivals one day, perhaps. I would love to try to get my own hat in the ring for that. You know what I mean? I'd love to be a part of it. I love this game. It's easily my favorite, like, racing game that I've played. So trust and believe that I'm going to be playing a lot. And I hope to be back out there.
Genuinely such a good game. I don't even know how many hours I'll have to check that I've put in since our qualifiers. I think we've all gotten hooked on it for sure. And I hope some of you that are in the audience as well got hooked on the gameplay we saw today. And thank you to all our cruisers and racers for putting on such a show. The chat, alas, as we wrap up the show, it is time for our own version of a Twitch Rivals raid that we call the Raid Launcher. Now, the Raid Launcher is going to randomly select one of the participants from today that is currently live. We're going to send everyone over to their channel alongside 25 gifted subs. So let's find out who the lucky streamer is today. We've had a lot of lucky streamers, considering the prize pool divvied up, all the fun times had, the memories made. But who is it going to be?
Who's going to be the one?
Hey! Games Cage with the color. You know what? Couldn't be more perfect. Couldn't be more perfect. All right, before we head over to Games Cage's channel, where can people find you?
All right, if you're interested, twitch.tv/eevisu as well as Twitter. I'm live all the time. Would love to come hang out with you anytime you're available.
All right, and what about you, Emerald?
You can find me as Emerald on Twitch and everywhere else. I'm going to be playing this game a lot, trying to get better at it and showing other people how to get better at it too.
Well, there you have it, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in to our Sonic Racing CrossWorlds event here on Twitch Rivals. We'll see you at the next one. Until then, good morning, afternoon, evening, and good night.